Chapter 238. Juan Malay was stunned for a long time and asked, "Why did you ask the finance department to transfer the money to me? I lost my ID card that night, so I could only transfer the money to your card. Did you transfer it to my salary card?" "Yes." Juan Malay was stunned for a few seconds and said, "My salary card was also lost that night." Tang Bao was speechless. "Although the card was lost, I can still receive my phone because there's an income, but I can't take out the money for the time being." Tang Bao felt like she was about to break down. "Then where did the money you used come from? It's not like you don't know that I only carry one card with me, which is my salary card. If I lose my wallet, I won't lose all my cards. Who asked you to carry all your cards, including the young master's black card with you? Are you confused?" Tang Bao leaned weakly on the sofa and closed her eyes. She didn't want to see Juan Malay. She didn't want to see him at all. "Don't look like you have nothing to live for. After you get the ID card, you can reapply half of the card and the money will be back." Juan Malay comforted her. "If I could wait for so long, would I still need to ask the finance department to transfer the money?" Tang Bao asked weakly. "You're struggling now?" Juan Malay used an obscure idiom. She didn't even dare to ask, "Why don't you ask the young master for it?" And now, she couldn't ask the young master for it, right? She could only take it from her own company. "You can be more straightforward. I'm fine with it." "Are you poorer than me now?" Juan Malay asked. Tang Bao looked at her with her watery eyes. "Are you happy?" "No." "Do you want me to lend it to you?" Tang Bao sat up. "Give me your card. I'll go to the finance department again." Tang Bao took Juan Malay's card and went to the finance department. She threw the card in front of the finance department lady. "Borrow another 500,000 yuan." The finance lady looked up at the Tang Bao, who came to borrow money again. She thought to herself, "Am I really not being robbed?" She still asked, "You've used it up so quickly? Do you want me to give you more?" "No need, just 500,000. Then, Tang Bao left the finance department with the 500,000 yuan card. The little girl from the finance department ran over to the big sister and asked, "What's wrong with President Tang? 500,000 gone in the blink of an eye." "Did I use your money?" Big sister retorted angrily. "I'm not using my money. I'm just envious. President Tang is only 19 years old. He's so much younger than us, but he's so rich. Comparisons are odious." Another one also ran over and said, "It's okay if the company can't borrow money. Don't we still have young Master D? He would never be able to finish spending the money. But if it was me, I would definitely spend young Master D's money and keep my own money." Just as he finished speaking, his head was knocked, and he glared at his little sister. "Why did you hit me? No wonder you can't find a rich man. Your purpose is so obvious. You scare the rich away before they even get close." The big sister from the finance department reprimanded. "Are you done talking one by one? Go to work." Only then did they disperse. But when she turned around, the big sister from the finance department called Zhou Jisen. She told him about Tang Bao taking the money. "It's okay. She can take as much as she wants." Tang Bao returned to his office and threw the card to Juan Malay. Juan Malay was puzzled. "Why are you giving it to me? You can use the card. I only have a few thousand yuan in my card. Let's go shopping. I have to buy all the things I lost, such as bags and cell phones. By the way, have you reported the loss of your ID card?" "Not yet." "Then let's do it together today." "Okay." Ever since that day, Juan Malay didn't mention anything about what happened in the villa. Even when he mentioned the lost things now, Tang Bao's face didn't show anything wrong. It was as if he was talking about a home-cooked meal. Since Tang Bao wanted to cover it up, Juan Malay wouldn't take the initiative to ask him if he was in a good mood or something. She didn't want Tang Bao to think of unpleasant things again. Tang Bao didn't go to Ling to buy a bag. He casually bought a bag that cost a few thousand yuan at a store and then went to pick a cell phone. Tang Bao liked the pink gold cell phone from before very much. It was very beautiful, but he knew in his heart that there was no need to look for it. It definitely couldn't be sold outside. Therefore, Tang Bao wouldn't choose according to that style. If that was really the case, she wouldn't buy a cell phone. This one, Tang Bao pointed at a silver cell phone on the counter and said, "You're not going to choose anymore?" Juan Malay asked, "What's there to choose?" "This one is not bad," Tang Bao said. Juan Malay said in her heart that it was much uglier than the previous one. But she also knew that she could only say this in her heart because that cell phone was bought for her by the young master. By the way, aren't you ready to move out of your house yet? Tang Bao remembered and asked. I've already moved out. Didn't you want to ask me for help? Your body is delicate and expensive. I thought about it and found someone to move it. Okay, I'll go to your house to take a look. After shopping, Wan Malay said that she still had work to do and returned to the company. After work, the two of them left together and went to Wan Malay's residence. Tang Bao walked around inside and out and stood on the balcony and said, You really have one bedroom and one living room. I've never liked to talk nonsense. Tang Bao sat down on the single sofa on the balcony. There was a round table in front of him. Occasionally, he could bask in the sun and drink tea here. He really knew how to enjoy it. Wan Malay squeezed 2 glasses of fruit juice and gave one to Tang Bao. She sat down and said, I rented this balcony because I liked it. She thought to herself, it can't be compared to your castle. Even the bathroom is bigger than my house. Why are you sitting down? What do you mean? What are we eating tonight? Aren't you going to show off your cooking? I see that you've already cooked in the kitchen. What's in the fridge? Why don't we make noodles? Any noodles are fine. After Tang Bao finished speaking, she looked at the stunned Wan Malay and asked, Do I look like a grandfather? What grandfather? You're clearly an ancestor. Wan Malay stood up and left. Tang Bao drank a mouthful of fruit juice and called the castle to say that she wouldn't be going back for dinner. She also said that her friend was afraid of sleeping at night and might stay here tonight and go back tomorrow. After saying that, she hung up the phone. Then, she went into the kitchen. Do you know how to cook? Let me help you. Do you really want to eat noodles? Don't tell me you want to eat noodles because you feel sorry for me? Wan Malay asked. What do you think? Tang Bao asked. Absolutely impossible. If you don't enslave me for a day, I won't recognize you. Wan Malay didn't want to indulge in her own fantasy. She believed in a saying that good friends were meant to be tricked. While cooking noodles, Tang Bao held a cucumber in her hand and munched on it. Chapter 239. While he was at it, he gestured and said, Do you want to cut the shredded meat a little thinner? I think it's a little thick. Why don't you do it? Wan Malay asked. Tang Bao looked up at the sky. The noodles burned faster. It didn't take long for it to be served. 1 bowl for each person was just right. Tang Bao sniffed hard. It smells so good. Eat it all if it smells good. Don't waste it. No, I'll definitely finish everything you made. Don't blame me if it doesn't taste good. You said it smells good just now. It smells good, but it doesn't mean it tastes good. Don't eat it. I'll eat it. Tang Bao picked up the noodles with his chopsticks and stuffed them into his mouth. He sucked the noodles and chewed as he said, It's delicious. How long has it been since I ate your food? I remember eating it in the dormitory at that time. Wan Malay also thought of the past and smiled. Yes, hot pot. The 4 of us almost finished all the soup in the pot. Tang Bao had a smile on the corner of his mouth. It looked bitter and his tone was a little downcast. It was still better in the past. Eating hot pot made us so happy. There were no worries. Wan Malay looked at Tang Bao, who lowered his gaze and pretended to be fine. However, he couldn't hide the bitterness in his eyes. She couldn't help but ask, Baby, what's the situation between you and the young master now? Tang Bao paused in his eating. His long eyelashes fluttered and he said, I mentioned a divorce, but Di Hao Yin wasn't willing. He just ignored me. He didn't divorce or reconcile? What does that mean? Wan Malay asked. I don't know either. Anyway, whatever Di Hao Yin says is the truth. How can I resist? That's true. But Tang Bao, to be honest, I still hope that the young master can be more open-minded. You didn't do this willingly. This was an accident, Wan Malay said. Do you think it's possible? Even if both of us wanted to get over it, how could we get rid of the knot in our hearts? You won't be happy in the future, Tang Bao said as he fiddled with the noodles in his bowl. Wan Malay sighed. She also knew that this matter was troublesome. Even if Di Hao Yin was willing to accept the Tang Bao, would the Tang Bao himself be able to accept it? Wouldn't she have to look at Di Hao Yin every day and think about how she had wronged him? How would they go to continue living like this? She knew the Tang Bao very well. She was a conservative person. She couldn't act as if nothing had happened. Malay, I always thought that I still liked Di Junbai, but after this incident, I realized that I'm not happy at all. I'm very sad, Tang Bao said. It's normal for you to be sad because you're married and the young master treats you so well, Wan Malay asked again. Did Di Junbai look for you? No. Doesn't he need to apologize for doing such a thing? Wan Malay was angry. What's the use of apologizing? It's already happened. Moreover, I don't dare to look at Di Hao Ian. I don't want to see Di Junbai either. After Tang Bao finished speaking, he lowered his head and began to suck on the noodles. However, there was one thing that Tang Bao was still very strange. Even if Di Junbai didn't need to apologize, he seemed to be hiding after doing such a thing. It didn't seem like Di Junbai's style. Perhaps both of them thought that this was the best outcome. After Tang Bao said that, Wan Malay didn't know what to say. She felt that no one else could interfere in the marriage between Tang Bao and Di Hao Ian, even the people closest to them. Bao Bao, no matter what, I will support you. Tang Bao nodded and didn't say anything. Between friends, there were some things that could be understood immediately without words. The balcony at night was a little cold. After eating the noodles, Tang Bao and Wan Malay held hot milk tea in the living room and watched TV. After watching a movie, Wan Malay asked hesitantly, "When are you going back?" "I'm not going back." Tang Bao stared at the TV without blinking. Wan Malay asked why. Tang Bao naturally didn't want to go back. Wasn't Lan Wanru in the castle? She didn't want to see Lan Wanru at all. But Wan Malay didn't know. Tang Bao didn't want to say it either. If he said it, Wan Malay would jump up. In the castle, after Di Hao Ian went back, only Lan Wanru was there. When Lan Wanru saw Di Hao Ian, he immediately walked forward. "Brother Hao Ian, you're back?" Lian also went forward and asked, "Young master, are we starting dinner now?" Di Hao Ian glanced at Lian coldly. "What time is it?" Lian immediately understood what Di Hao Ian meant and said under pressure, "Young madam isn't here. She said that she went to eat at a friend's place, so she waited for you to come back. Tell her to come back." "Young madam said that she's staying at a friend's place tonight." Di Hao Ian turned around. His dark eyes were sharp and his face was frighteningly cold. Lian quickly retreated and called Tang Bao. When the phone rang, Tang Bao was lazily leaning on the sofa and watching another movie. She didn't move. Wan Malay reminded her, "Your phone is ringing." "Mine?" "Yes, my ringtone isn't this." Tang Bao wanted to say that her ringtone wasn't this either. Then he remembered that she had changed her phone. But who would call her? She took out her phone from her bag and saw the caller ID. She couldn't help but feel nervous. Why would the castle call her? Who asked her to call? Tang Bao stuffed the phone into Wan Malay's hand and said, "Say that I'm asleep." Wan Malay looked at Tang Bao, who dodged to the side, and looked at the phone. She couldn't help but feel nervous. "Answer it," Tang Bao urged. "Why do you want me to answer your call? What if it's the young master?" Wan Malay was afraid. "No, it should be the butler. Di Hao Ian only knows how to use his phone. Moreover, with the current situation between Di Hao Ian and I, it's impossible for him to look for me." Tang Bao analyzed. "Since it's the butler, why don't you answer it? Just in case." Wan Malay was about to answer helplessly when the ringtone stopped. "No, you don't have to answer it." After she finished speaking, the phone rang again. Could it be something important? Wan Malay hesitated again. "If you don't answer it, I'll make you work overtime at the company now." Wan Malay's hand trembled, and she immediately answered the call. She deliberately turned on the loudspeaker. "Young madam, the young master wants you to come back." Wan Malay looked at Tang Bao. Tang Bao immediately lay back and closed his eyes. This was very obvious. Wan Malay replied that Tang Bao is already asleep. I answered the phone. "Then can I trouble you to wake her up?" Lian didn't care about this. The young master was sitting on the sofa, and his gaze was like a knife cutting his body. Tang Bao mouthed to Wan Malay what he wanted to say. She only understood it after he said it a second time and passed it to the butler. "Excuse me, is the young master looking for Tang Bao for something?" "This is the young master's order." Lian only said so. Chapter 240. She shouted into the air, Tang Bao, wake up, you have a phone call." Tang Bao stared at Wan Malay in disbelief. She still had something to say to her. Juan Malay didn't care anymore. She felt too much pressure, especially when the butler said, "This is the young master's order." This was pressure. She couldn't bear it. Tang Bao took the phone and pretended to be weak. "Hello, young madam. What's the matter?" "I was sleeping well." "The young master wants you to come back," Lian said. Tang Bao wanted to ask why Di Hao Ian was looking for her, but after thinking about it, she didn't ask. She said, "Got it, I'll go back in a while." After putting down the phone, Juan Malay asked, "You're going back? Why is the young master looking for you? Seeing how the butler is rushing you, there should be something, right? If there's really something, why would he ask the butler to call? Besides, what can it be? Di Hao Ian is that strong. So it's the same as before. No, he won't let me have an easy time." Lan Wanru felt that her decision to come to the castle was right. She found more and more interesting things. Her increasing interest was based on the growing problem between Di Hao Ian and Tang Bao. Not only were the two of them in a cold war, but it had also reached an uncontrollable point. The only thing she wanted to know now was why the two of them were in conflict. Lan Wanru thought that as long as she stayed here longer, she would be able to find out more. She might even know Di Junbai's whereabouts. Fortunately, she didn't start investigating Di Junbai's disappearance directly. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. Di Hao Hian didn't come out after entering the study. Lan Wanru had been outside for more than an hour. Would Di Hao Ian be unhappy if she went in like this? At this moment, the study door opened, and Di Hao Hian walked out expressionlessly. His aura was cold. Lan Wanru immediately stepped forward. "Brother Hao Ian, don't be angry at Tang Bao." She was still a child, so it was normal for her to have a temper. Just wait for her to come back. Di Hao Ian's face turned even colder. "Not back yet. Brother Hao Ian, I'll be honest with you. Actually, you shouldn't have married Tang Bao. She doesn't deserve you at all. In my opinion, you should marry a better woman. You treated Tang Bao so well, but she didn't cherish it at all. She let you down. She could have stayed in the castle, but she was unwilling to come back. Even if you're unhappy about something, you can't disregard Brother Hao Ian's feelings like this." Lan Wanru said. When Di Hao Ian's sharp gaze fell on him, a shadow fell over his face, making him look especially gloomy. "Who do you think I should marry?" His deep voice carried a kind of coldness, as if it was rising from the ground, climbing up her legs, and then to her spine. His entire body was cold. Lan Wanru carefully replied, "Marrying anyone is better than Tang Bao. She doesn't deserve your good treatment." Lan Wanru really wanted to say that Di Hao Ian could marry her. Only she was worthy of Di Hao Ian. But at this juncture, could she say that? Di Hao Ian coldly and emotionlessly glanced at her, then turned to leave. "Brother Hao Ian, I love you." Lan Wanru ran directly in front of Di Hao Ian and threw herself into Di Hao Ian's arms. There was nothing that couldn't be said. Her feelings for Di Hao Ian had long overflowed like water. She wanted to get Di Hao Ian's response. Di Hao Ian's dark eyebrows furrowed, and his dark eyes turned cold. He raised his hand to grab Lan Wanru's shoulder and was about to push her away. However, at this moment, Di Hao Ian's hand that was about to push Lan Wanru away stopped. He raised his head slightly and looked at Tang Bao, who was standing on the stairs. Tang Bao also didn't expect to see such a scene when she came back. Lan Wanru's confession and their hug deeply pierced Tang Bao's scarred heart. She just stood on the stairs and looked down at them. She was expressionless. But Tang Bao knew that her heart was about to stop because of the hurt. "You asked me to come back just to see this scene?" Tang Bao suppressed the bitterness in her heart, but no matter how hard she tried, anger still appeared on her face. Di Hao Ian looked at her expressionlessly. He didn't say a word. When Lan Wanru heard Tang Bao's voice, she immediately pulled herself out of Di Hao Ian's arms and explained to Tang Bao in a panic. "Tang Bao, don't misunderstand. There's nothing between Brother Hao Ian and me." Tang Bao didn't even want to listen to this kind of cover-up. She was 19 years old, but it didn't mean that she couldn't see through anything. "Why do you have to question me?" Di Hao Ian asked coldly. "I don't have the right, so I gave up my position and let you guys kiss each other. Isn't that good? Why did you ask me to come back? Do you feel good letting me see this scene? Are you going to take revenge on me in this way?" What's the point of this? Tang Bao asked angrily. She knew that she was in the wrong. Even if something had happened between Di Hao Ian and Lan Wanru, she had no right to ask. But why did Di Hao Ian insist that she come back? She didn't want to see that scene. Even if she knew that she was in the wrong first, she couldn't accept it. Di Hao Ian's face was gloomy. He turned around and went up the stairs. Tang Bao's heart raced uneasily as Di Hao Ian's aggressive and ruthless aura got closer and closer. Was he going upstairs? But when she saw Di Hao Ian coming straight for her, Tang Bao instinctively turned around and ran. She ran to the door of her room, pushed it open, and was about to slam the door when a strong hand blocked the door. Tang Bao couldn't close the door no matter how hard she tried. Di Hao Ian pushed the door open forcefully. Tang Bao took a big step back from impact. What are you doing? Tang Bao looked at Di Hao Ian defensively. She felt that she would be torn apart in the next second. Do you think this is revenge? Di Hao Ian's tone was dark and unpredictable. Di Hao Ian, you don't have to do this. No matter what you do, I will accept it. But I hope. Hope is in a place that I can't see. Tang Bao's voice trailed off. There was no trace of confidence. She was very dejected. Why must it be in a place that you can't see? You accept it just because it's in a place that you can't see? Di Hao Ian questioned. His aura became more and more oppressive and cold. Since you want to have sex with someone else, you are willing to do it. Whether I accept it or not, it will still happen. Tang Bao felt that her marriage was in a mess. Her mind was in a mess. Everything was in a mess. So, do you accept it or not? Di Hao Ian didn't give her a chance to breathe. It was as if he wanted to force her into a dead end. Of course, Tang Bao didn't want to accept it. But if she said so, Di Hao Ian would definitely ask her why she could have sex with Di Junbai. Chapter 241. Tang Bao knew that even if this marriage was not pure in the beginning, it was not as messy as it was now. This was no longer a matter of marital loyalty. The 3 obedience and 4 virtues pasted on the wall was like a joke. Tang Bao wanted to end it. She did not want this kind of marriage. Tang Bao lowered her head and looked at the expensive carpet on the floor. She said mechanically, yes. I like Di Junbai. I always have. I kept my first time just to give it to him. Last time when I was drugged and slept with Di Junbai, it was not an accident. I did it willingly. Ugh. Before Tang Bao could finish her words, her neck was strangled and tightened. Lan Wanru, who was outside the door, was stunned. What did she just hear? Tang Bao said that she slept with Di Junbai. Her breathing suddenly became difficult. The thin oxygen made Tang Bao's face quickly turn red. Di Hao Ian's chiseled face was terrifyingly close. Say that again. Tang Bao wanted to say something, but she felt the big hand around her neck tighten again. She could not say a word. Why aren't you saying anything? The veins on the back of Di Hao Ian's hand were about to burst. Tang Bao struggled to pull Di Hao Ian's hand. She wanted to say, "You're strangling me. How can I say it? You'll tighten your grip when I want to say it." Of course, she could not say it now. His throat was pinched painfully, and even the thin air couldn't get in. Tang Bao did not expect that she would die at such a young age, and die in the hands of her husband. Tang Bao's face turned even redder. She did not know whether it was the saline solution or psychological tears, but they overflowed from the corners of her eyes. They fell on Di Hao Ian's hand. His hand was scalded and trembled. His strong fingers suddenly loosened. Tang Bao fell weakly on the carpet. She had been deprived of oxygen for a long time. She suddenly inhaled into her lungs and coughed. Cough, 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 cough. Cough, 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 cough. There was blood dripping from the carpet. Tang Bao raised his eyes slightly and saw Di Hao Ian's hand wrapped in gauze. He clenched his fist tightly. Because he used too much force, the healed wound ruptured and blood seeped out, dripping down drop by drop. She shed tears while Di Hao Ian shed blood. Every drop of blood seemed to pierce her heart. Di Hao Ian turned and left without saying a word. Tang Bao felt as if his soul had been taken away, and his tears fell even harder. She just sat on the carpet and cried. Di Hao Ian, I've never thought about having anything with Di Junbai. Those were my true feelings. I want to be with you. I really want to be with you forever. Those were lies. Because you shouldn't have an impure me. I don't deserve you. I don't know how I should act when I'm by your side. Zhongli walked into the room in a panic. When she saw Tang Bao sitting on the floor and crying, she became even more anxious. Young madam, are you okay? When she saw the red circle around Tang Bao's neck, she was shocked. She didn't even dare to ask how it was caused. Di Haoyan's hand is injured. Go take a look and ask the doctor to bandage it again. Tang Bao didn't care about herself. She was concerned about Di Haoyan's repeatedly injured hand. Seeing that Zhongli didn't move, Tang Bao pushed her irritably. Go quickly, but young master has gone out. Tang Bao's eyelashes trembled slightly, and tears fell down. He probably wouldn't want to see her again if he went out. She was the one who hurt him. You still have the face to care about Brother Haoyan's hand? You should die. Lan Wanru rushed in and scolded Tang Bao. Tang Bao was in the wrong in front of Di Haoyan, but it didn't mean that she was inferior in front of Lan Wanru. She didn't want to bother with her and turned to leave. However, Lan Wanru stopped her and didn't let her go. What do you want to do? Tang Bao's voice was hoarse from crying. She looked at Lan Wanru coldly with tears in her eyes. Why are you still asking me? I haven't asked you what you did with Di Junbai. You actually slept with my brother behind Brother Haoyan's back. Do you have any shame? Have you ever thought about Brother Haoyan's feelings? How dare you boast shamelessly that you like my brother? Don't you have any shame? Lan Wanru was furious. Zhang Li's brain almost exploded when she heard this. So, the young master and young madam were in a cold war. Because of this? Wasn't this too serious? It's not up to you to ask whether I have any shame or not. Who do you think you are? Tang Bao retorted. Lan Wanru sneered after her anger. That's good. When you slept with my brother, you should have thought about you and Brother Haoyan. Because no man would tolerate his wife cheating on him, let alone Brother Haoyan. I'm just angry that you dare to treat Brother Haoyan like this. You're too shameless. Angry? If you're really angry, why aren't you fainting? Tang Bao asked. Lan Wanru's thoughts were exposed. She was indeed angry, but she was more happy because after Tang Bao betrayed Di Haoyan, she was no longer qualified to have Di Haoyan. Thus, a victorious smile appeared on her face. Indeed, I'm very happy. Do you still want to stay in the castle after doing such a shameless thing? Just wait for Brother Haoyan to kick you out. After saying this, Lan Wanru turned around and left. At that moment, Tang Bao felt that the fetal illness that Lan Wanru had brought since she was young had been cured. She was so happy from the inside out. Tang Bao didn't refute. It wasn't that Lan Wanru didn't give her a chance. It was that she had lost her chance. Young madam, I believe you. You definitely didn't do anything to let the young master down. It must be a misunderstanding, Zhang Li said. Tang Bao didn't expect anyone to believe her now. She didn't want to hurt Zhang Li, but she said, "Thank you for your trust, but I really did it." Zhang Li was stunned. Don't tell anyone what happened just now. After all, it's a disgraceful thing. After Tang Bao finished speaking, she went into the bedroom. She sat on the edge of the bed, tears silently sliding down her face. Beside the pillow was the little wolf dog. Every time she bit Di Haoyan, he would call her little wolf dog, which made her laugh with tears in her eyes. She would never hear him call her that again. After that day, Tang Bao never saw Di Haoyan again. Di Haoyan didn't ask her whether she was in the castle or not. He didn't restrict her from doing anything. It was as if the two of them had suddenly become strangers, so cold that there was no warmth. The most active person in the castle was Lan Wanru. In the morning, Tang Bao came down from upstairs. Lan Wanru angrily asked, "Why are you still here? If I'm not here, where should I be? Didn't Brother Haoyan want to divorce you?" Lan Wanru asked. "No," Lan Wanru said in disbelief. "I think you're the one who's here and doesn't want to leave, right?" Tang Bao looked at Lan Wanru coldly. "Who's the one who's here? You. How long do you think you can be arrogant for? Do you still have the face to stay here?" Lan Wanru asked. Chapter 242. No matter what, it was not Lan Wanru's turn to give orders to her. She turned around and headed to the dining room for breakfast. "You harm my brother. and now you want to harm Brother Hao Qian as well. Lan Wanru's angry voice came from behind her. Tang Bao's back stiffened. She frowned slightly and turned around to look at Lan Wanru. What do you mean? What do I mean? Don't you understand? You slept with my brother. Have you ever thought about what would happen to him? Lan Wanru questioned. Tang Bao felt as if her brain had been shaken. She stared at Lan Wanru in a daze. She did not care that there were servants everywhere in the living room. Did you have sex with my brother at some party? Then did you know that my brother went missing after that day? Lan Wanru kept saying that she slept with him. It was very ear-piercing. However, Lan Wanru said that Di Junbai's disappearance stunned her. Why did he go missing? Why do you think? Don't you know what happened? Tang Bao, if you still have a little conscience, you should make up for the consequences of what you did. That's impossible. That's his biological brother. Tang Bao did not want to admit that she was still speaking up for Di Haoyan. Or maybe she wanted to reduce the psychological burden and did not want to cause any more trouble. That's impossible. Things have already happened. Do you still want Brother Haoyan to tolerate you? What Di Haoyan should do is to drown you in a pig's cage. Instead of implicating my brother, Tang Bao lowered her gaze and thought, that's right. So what if Di Junbai is his biological brother? Di Haoyan is Di Lingyue's biological nephew. Didn't he do those things that killed his nephew? If Di Junbai really touched her, would Di Haoyan let her go? Tang Bao's thinking was too simple. At first, Tang Bao thought that Di Junbai did not show up because he wanted to avoid awkwardness or because he was too shy to meet people. It turned out that something had happened. Di Junbai, what happened? He shouldn't be dead, right? Tang Bao was afraid of such an answer. If Di Junbai was in the wrong, she could not stay out of it. She did not want Di Junbai to die. He should have been locked up by the Di Haoyan, but he must have been tortured inhumanely. I hope you can help me to keep my brother safe and sound. Do you think I can help now? Tang Bao asked. As long as you have the heart to beg Brother Haoyan, he will definitely agree. It was not that Tang Bao did not know about Lan Wanru's schemes. Di Haoyan had not mentioned divorce to her, and she was anxious. So, she came up with such a plan to let her plead for Di Junbai. Wasn't this adding fuel to the fire? If she angered Di Haoyan, she would definitely not have a good ending. What a good plan. However, what could she change even if she knew that it was Lan Wanru's plan? Could she just watch Di Junbai die and not do anything about it? But when she thought about mentioning Di Junbai in front of Di Haoyan, she was terrified. She would definitely be strangled to death. Do you know where he's locked up? Tang Bao asked. If I knew, would I still come to you? Lan Wanru only needed to ask Di Lingyue to know where Di Junbai was locked up, but she was not willing to tell Tang Bao. He asked her to go find Di Haoyan and anger Di Haoyan. When Tang Bao returned to the company, Wang Malay was about to greet her when she saw that something was wrong with Tang Bao. What's wrong with your neck? Why did it look like a mark from hanging? I hung myself. Tang Bao didn't know why she could still make a joke. However, if she didn't say that, was she going to say that she was strangled by Di Haoyan? Are you joking with me? The young master forced you? Wang Malay guessed in shock. Tang Bao didn't want to talk about this, and she didn't want Wang Malay to know. I have something else to ask you. What? Wang Malay snapped back to reality from the hanging. Say, if Di Haoyan imprisoned Di Junbai, where would he be imprisoned? Wang Malay was extremely surprised. You said that the young master imprisoned Di Junbai? This is too. You also think it's too cruel, too amazing. Tang Bao looked at her silently. Don't you think so? I don't think so. As far as she knew, Di Haoyan had always been unsurpassable and ruthless. She didn't expect that he would treat Di Junbai like this. It's normal for the young master to do this. But I also know that you don't want to cause Di Junbai to end badly because of this matter. But he's in the young master's hands. What will you do? If you mention it to the young master, it won't be good for you. That's why I'm asking you. Do you have a solution if you know where Di Junbai is imprisoned? Wang Malay asked. There was no other way. Tang Bao said silently in her heart. Actually, I don't think you need to look for the young master. Why? Where's your intelligence? If the young master wanted to kill Di Junbai, he would have done it long ago. Why would he wait for you to react? I think the young master might just be venting on Di Junbai and will be released soon. What if he's never released? It's not like I haven't thought about what you said, but Di Haoyan is unfathomable. We can't guess what he's thinking at all, Tang Bao said. Wait a little longer. Maybe Di Junbai will appear? Anyway, it's been so long. It doesn't matter if you wait a few more days, one Malay said. Tang Bao thought for a long time. Tang Bao, you really can't touch the young master's bottom line anymore. Aren't you afraid? I'm afraid just thinking about it. How could Tang Bao not be afraid? She was almost strangled to death last night. Just as Tang Bao was hesitating whether to look for Di Hao Ian and ask him about Di Junbai, another person came looking for him. It was Di Lingwei. Tang Bao didn't return to the castle. She returned to the Tang family. She didn't want to see Lan Wanru. She was annoyed just by looking at him, especially when Di Hao Ian's figure was everywhere in the castle. She was about to suffocate. Anyway, Di Hao Ian wouldn't care about her anymore. She could go anywhere. Tang Bao was still eating when a servant came over and said, "Miss, someone is looking for you outside." Tang Bao paused in her chewing. Could be Di Hao Ian? No. Why would Di Hao Ian need someone to inform him? Who is it? He said he's Di Junbai's father. Actually, when the servant said this, Tang Bao knew why Di Lingyue was looking for her. But why did he think that she could save Di Junbai? Tang Bao met Di Lingyue. Second uncle. After Di Lingyue walked in, Tang Bao greeted him. Second uncle, please take a seat. After Di Lingyue sat down, he looked around and said, I went to the castle to look for you, but you weren't here. I want to try my luck here. I didn't expect you to really live here. Did you and Hao Ian quarrel? Tang Bao lowered her gaze. She thought, how could you not know if they quarreled? Didn't you say that you knew everything Di Hao Ian did? But how can a husband and wife not quarrel? It'll be fine in a few days, Di Lingyue said, as if comforting her. Chapter 243. I want to ask you for a favor. What can I help second uncle with? I don't know anything, Tang Bao said calmly. I don't know what happened to Di Junbai. He's been locked up by Di Hao Ian. I want to ask you to help me put in a good word with Di Hao Ian and ask him to let Di Junbai go. I only have one son, and I don't want them to get along. You're also a member of the Di family. I don't think you want this to happen either. Di Lingyue frowned. She seemed very troubled. I might not be able to help. You know that Di Hao Ian and I are in a Cold War. But if the Cold War ends, I can ask him. Tang Bao said this on purpose. Would the Cold War end? How could it end? Then you have to be quick. I'm afraid that Di Junbai's life is in danger. Okay, I know. Tang Bao thought of something and asked, then do you know where Di Junbai is locked up? I know. He's in a private residence somewhere in Di Hao Ian. Outsiders can't go in at all. Tang Bao thought. She knew that Lan Wanru wasn't telling the truth. So she said, when Lan Wanru told me, I asked her. She said that she didn't know where Di Junbai was locked up. I think you probably forgot to tell her. After saying this, she saw that Di Lingyue's expression changed. This meant that Lan Wanru knew everything. She didn't say it on purpose. How could the scheming Di Lingyue not understand? Tang Bao felt slightly better. She continued, if she told me before, I might have already rescued Brother Junbai. I was confident before, but now I'm not so sure. Then Di Lingyue's expression became even worse. But I think it's not a bad idea to let Lan Wanru talk to Di Hao Ian about this. Second uncle, you may not know this, but during this period of time, Lan Wanru has been living in the castle and has a very close relationship with Di Hao Ian. He can even casually enter and leave Di Hao Ian's study room. Let me tell you, I haven't even been to Di Hao Ian's study. It was obvious that Di Hao Ian would tell her everything. If she wanted to know something, even if Di Hao Ian didn't tell her, she would have found some clues if she walked so close to him. Isn't that right, second uncle? Di Lingyue couldn't hold it in anymore. He hadn't expected such a reversal. He only knew that Lan Wanru wanted to get close to Di Hao Ian to get information from him. He believed Lan Wanru, but Tang Bao's words also made him suspicious. Because everyone knew that Lan Wanru liked Di Hao Ian. It was hard to say that he would side with an outsider. However, Di Lingyue wouldn't show anything in front of Tang Bao. I think that you might have misunderstood something. Wanru and Hao Ian are siblings, nothing else. Of course, they will only tell you their private matters, so I still have to ask you for help. In the past, you and Junbai were good friends. Actually, at first, I thought that you would be my daughter-in-law, but I didn't expect Hao Ian to like you so much. It seems that I don't have this blessing. Di Lingwe said somewhat disappointedly. Tang Bao thought of her relationship with Di Junbai in the past, which made her hesitate. This kind of relationship actually brought so much trouble to her marriage. She could like Di Junbai, and she could also escape from Di Haoyan. But she never thought of betraying Di Haoyan. This was a moral issue. Even if she had no choice, it made her feel very uncomfortable. Tang Bao stayed at the Tang family's house for a night. Before that, she called the castle and said that she wanted to stay at the Tang family's house. Liam picked up the phone and agreed without saying anything. Tang Bao didn't ask anything else and hung up the phone. At night, her phone was silent and no one called. Tang Bao slept in her previous room. At this moment, she was lying on the window, facing the big tree outside. At that time, her father was seriously ill. She was at a loss and couldn't sleep at night. It was Di Haoyan who stood under the big tree and called her, so that she wouldn't be so afraid of being alone in the future. But in the end, she was the one who gave up first. Tang Bao thought, was she too bad? There was a deep sense of guilt in her heart that made her feel so painful that she couldn't breathe. Even if the person Di Haoyan loved wasn't her, she shouldn't have done such a thing. Tang Bao felt that the reason why she could live well now was inseparable from the fact that she was Yu Songhuan's savior. Tang Bao thought about it for the whole night. In the end, she still went to the address that Di Lingwe told her. Di Haoyan definitely had more than one property in the castle. But when she went to the place, she didn't expect that the so-called private house was even scarier. Tang Bao stood outside the door. It was very deep inside, and she could only see a corner. She wondered if Di Junbai was locked up here. Di Lingwe shouldn't be wrong, right? Just as Tang Bao was thinking about whether she could go in, two men in black appeared behind the door and looked at her expressionlessly. Tang Bao was shocked and looked at them in a daze. Then, when she came back to her senses, she immediately covered her face with her hands, turned around, and left. And she walked very quickly, afraid that she would be recognized. After walking for a long time, she stopped when she reached a safe distance. Her heart was beating fast. They probably didn't recognize her, right? Because she didn't know them. Maybe this was not Di Haoyan's territory at all. Di Haoyan never went back after he walked out of the castle that day. He didn't go anywhere else and just stayed in T. T was so big, but she felt that every corner of it was filled with strong pressure. It was so cold that she felt that every bone in her body was tense when she walked. No one even dared to mention Tang Bao in front of Di Haoyan. Di Haoyan seemed to have changed into a different person. He only had eyes for tea and nothing else. It was as cold as an ice cellar. There was a knock on the door. Gu Linshun walked in gloomily. Di Haoyan looked up and glanced at him, his face expressionless. Gu Linshun didn't care. He walked to the side of the desk, leaned his butt against the edge of the desk, and crossed his long legs. Let's go out for a drink. Let's go. Di Haoyan didn't refuse and stood up. The two of them went to the bar to drink. They were in a private room. Gu Linshun asked, "Do you want to call a woman?" "Up to you." Gu Linshun's lips curled into a cold smile. He turned around and asked someone to call a woman. He picked out two tall and sexy women and brought them over. One for each of them, and they sat next to each other. The waiters who were kneeling on the floor and pouring wine for them weren't bad either. The private room was full of flirtatious feelings. After the wine was poured, Di Haoyan downed it in one gulp, his face expressionless. It was as if he had drunk a glass of plain water. The waiters immediately poured him another glass. Di Haoyan downed it once again. The waiters poured him another glass. Gu Linshun held the glass in his hand and looked leisurely at Di Haoyan, who was drinking as soon as he entered the private room. He said, "Aren't you worried that you'll get drunk? Try." Di Haoyan looked up coldly. Chapter 244. Gu Linshun felt that Di Haoyan was not normal right now. It was better not to argue with a lunatic. Di Haoyan drank another glass and turned his cold face to the woman beside him. The woman was experienced. However, after she sat down, she did not dare to get too close to this man. His entire body was filled with an inviolable cold aura. It was as if she would be frozen if she got closer. Even her skin hurt from being scraped. Now that she was being stared at, she was so scared that she did not even dare to breathe. Di Haoyan hooked his long arm around the woman's waist and asked, "Can you drink?" "Yes." "Pour it for her," Di Haoyan ordered. Then the kneeling waitress began to pour wine into Di Haoyan's glass. When the woman saw Di Haoyan take the initiative to be friendly, she was immediately overjoyed and the string in her heart relaxed. Her heart, that wanted to be close to him, yearned even more. The woman was excited and felt that she was about to succeed. After the wine was poured, the woman reluctantly withdrew her hand and picked up the glass to drink. Gu Linshan watched and suddenly smiled coldly. It seemed that someone was going to be unlucky. The woman opened her mouth, pressed her lips against the glass, and drank all the wine in the glass. The rim of the glass was stained with a faint lipstick mark. The wine was very strong, and the woman swallowed it with difficulty. Her face was slightly wrinkled. However, it was also wine that she had never drunk before. "I told you to drink from my glass?" Di Haoyan's black eyes were filled with hostility, and his low and cold voice was heard. The woman and the waitress were shocked. They turned to look at Di Haoyan and saw that Di Haoyan's face was frighteningly dark, especially the woman, who was so close that she was trembling in fear. I'm sorry, Before she could finish, Di Haoyan picked up the glass in his hand and smashed it on the woman's head. Bang! The glass shattered and the woman fell to the ground. Blood flowed down from her forehead. Di Haoyan acted as if he didn't see it. He leaned lazily on the sofa and said, "Get lost." The woman couldn't care less about the wound on her forehead and scrambled away. The remaining waitress knelt there, not knowing what to do. Her body trembled. She had seen all kinds of people in the bar. She had never seen a man with such an imposing aura. Not doing anything was already scary enough, not to mention his outburst. Although the waitress did not drink from the Di Haoyan glass, she was the one who poured the wine. Just as she was wondering if she should scram with him, she heard a voice that made her heart tremble. "Pour the wine." That calm voice sounded as if nothing had happened just now. The waitress quickly found a clean glass and poured the wine. After that, Di Haoyan finished it. After about 10 cups, Di Haoyan took out a cigarette and lit it after he calmed down. His face was soon covered by the smoke, faintly concealing his emotions. It was hard to tell whether he was in a bad mood or not. Gu Linshan signaled the woman next to him with his eyes. The woman immediately stood up and walked away. It was as if the two men in the private room were scary. "I thought you would keep drinking until you were delirious." Gu Linshan smiled faintly. "Sorry to disappoint you. Not to the extent of being disappointed. What's wrong? Did your kitten extend her claws at you? Why are you thinking so much? You could just pull out her claws," Gu Linshan said casually. Di Haoyan's face was calm. His dark eyes narrowed, as if he didn't hear Gu Linshan's words. He continued to smoke. The veins on the back of his hand that was holding the lighter revealed his true emotions. But soon, his emotions were covered up. He picked up the wine and drank it silently. He had already drunk so many glasses, but the burning sensation from his throat to his heart was still so clear. Di Haoyan knew that it had nothing to do with the wine. He lit another cigarette. Di Haoyan asked, "When did you come back?" "Today. I came looking for you as soon as I came back." "Are you touched?" "I knew something was wrong the moment I entered tea. It must be hard being your subordinate." Gu Linshan knew that Di Haoyan was in a bad mood. That was why he invited him to drink. "Where are you leaving?" "I just came back, and you're chasing me away? Aren't we friends enough?" Gu Linshan raised his eyebrows and asked. Di Haoyan didn't speak. He smoked his own cigarette. "Seriously, isn't it just a woman? For people like us, what kind of woman can't we get? You don't even need to stretch out your hand. You give them money. What can't they get? If you want, I can find you a sensible and obedient one right now. I guarantee you'll be satisfied." Gu Linshan tempted him. "You can perform for me first. It won't be too late for you to help me find one when I'm interested," Di Haoyan said expressionlessly. In other words, he had no desire now. Today, Tang Bao was staying at Wan Malay's place. The two of them were watching a movie. A horror movie. Birds of a feather flocked together. It was obviously a scary movie, but one of them was watching it expressionlessly while the other was yawning. They didn't care about the feelings of the director and the screenwriter who were seriously filming the movie. The person yawning was Juan Malay. Why aren't you sleepy yet? I haven't finished watching it yet. Tang Bao stared at the TV without blinking. Juan Malay glanced at Tang Bao's phone that was thrown aside and asked, "Is it okay for you to sleep here tonight? Will they call you back in the middle of the night?" "No, don't worry. I don't really stay in the castle anymore. No one cares about me. I didn't have time to accompany you in the past. Now I have time to make it up to you." Juan Malay didn't know why, but she felt awkward when she heard this. It was as if she was Tang Bao's child. As the two of them talked, the movie ended. Tang Bao yawned and said, "It's finally over. Let's sleep." Just as she said the word sleep, Tang Bao's phone rang. Tang Bao turned her head and wondered who was calling her so late at night. When she saw the caller ID, she was stunned. It was Di Haoyan. Juan Malay also saw it and said with a smile, "Didn't you say that no one would call you? The person in question is calling. Why aren't you picking up?" Juan Malay nudged Tang Bao, who was in a daze, and urged her. Tang Bao came back to her senses. She didn't know why Di Haoyan would call her. Weren't these two words always cold and did not meet? Why? If you don't pick up the phone, it'll stop. Juan Malay was more anxious than Tang Bao. She hoped that Di Haoyan called to say something about forgiving Tang Bao, that he didn't care about that matter, and that he wanted to reconcile. Chapter 245. Tang Bao picked up his phone and ran out of the balcony. Juan Malay looked at the panicked figure and couldn't help but smile. He clearly cared about her, but he just had to torture himself. Hey, she didn't know if it was the night wind that changed her voice or if she had her own problems, but her voice was trembling when she spoke. "You're still awake?" Tang Bao was stunned. "Why did your voice change?" "I'm Gu Linshin." One could imagine Gu Linshin's expression now. Tang Bao recalled. Wasn't that Gu Linshin's voice? When did Gu Linshin come back? You don't want to talk after hearing my voice? Why did you call me with Di Haoyan's phone? Tang Bao asked. Of course, something happened to him. That's why I called you. Tang Bao's heart skipped a beat. He asked anxiously, "What happened to him? What happened?" "I can tell you, but you have to tell me first. What happened to the two of you?" Gu Linshin was very shrewd. He knew that he wouldn't be able to find out even if he investigated. He could only find out from Tang Bao. "Tell me first, how is Di Haoyan now? Is it important?" Tang Bao was anxious to know about Di Haoyan's safety. Could he have been framed by Di Lingyue again? She hadn't seen Di Haoyan for a long time. She didn't even know how he was doing now. When the call went through, she was told that something had happened to Di Haoyan. How could she not be worried and afraid? "Did you hear what I said just now?" "I can say it again," Gu Linshin said calmly. However, Tang Bao was so anxious that he scolded her. "You idiot! Are you going to tell me or not? What are you scolding me for?" Gu Linshin's face was distorted. No one had ever dared to speak loudly to him. She was good, scolding him directly. "I said you're an idiot. Can't you hear me?" Tang Bao was furious. Gu Linshin was so angry that he calmed down. "You mean you don't want to know how miserable Di Haoyan is now?" Juan Malay, who was in the living room, heard the Tang Bao cursing. Juan Malay was worried for her. Why did the two of them start scolding each other over the phone? He even called him an idiot. Weren't they going to reconcile? Why is it getting more and more intense? Tang Bao, can't you calm down a little? In any case, he was the king of the imperial city. Did men need face? What was he going to do in the future? What should he do? This was also what troubled the Tang Bao right now. It was a mess. Gu Linshin was threatening her. If she didn't say anything, Gu Linshin wouldn't tell her either. Could it be that he wanted her to tell others about that kind of thing? "Are you going to tell me or not?" Gu Linshin threatened again. "It seems that you don't care whether he's dead or alive at all." Tang Bao gritted his teeth and scolded angrily. "If anyone dies, it's you. You want to know, right? Then I'll tell you. Nothing happened between us. Get lost." After saying that, he hung up the phone. Then, he directly called the castle's landline. At this time, only the other servants would pick up the phone. "Help me find Leon." The servant hurried over and found Leon. "Butler, Young madam called to say that she's looking for you. Lian was stunned for a moment and immediately picked up the phone. Young madam, where's Di Hao Ian now? Do you know what happened? Tang Bao asked anxiously. Young master? I don't know. The young master hasn't been back for a long time. Lian told the truth. Tang Bao thought that Di Hao Ian must be outside, so the castle didn't know. If it had just happened, the news wouldn't have spread so quickly. Only Gu Linshin, who was with him, knew. He asked again, Then do you know He Ju's cell phone number? He Ju. I know. Then tell me quickly. After Tang Bao got He Ju's number, he dialed it. The other party quickly picked up. Young madam, did something happen to Di Hao Ian? Just now, Gu Linshin used Di Hao Ian's cell phone to call me. He said that something happened to Di Hao Ian, but he didn't tell me what happened. He Ju, tell me, did something happen to Di Hao Ian? No, right? Tang Bao hoped that nothing happened. He Ju looked at the closed door of the private room. It was very quiet inside. He wanted to say that nothing happened, but he opened his mouth and said, Something did happen. Is it serious? Tang Bao felt that his heart was about to stop. Do you want to come over and take a look? He Ju asked. Where's he now? I'll go over now. Tang Bao didn't doubt He Ju's words at all. After He Ju told him the address of the bar, he just felt strange. Why was he at a bar? Did he get ambushed in the bar? Tang Bao went out of the balcony and ran into the living room. He said to Wan Malay, who was still in a daze, I have something to do. You don't have to wait for me. Go to sleep. I'll go with you. No, I'll go find Di Hao Ian. After Tang Bao said that, he ran away without looking back. Wan Malay was left standing there in a daze. What kind of plot was this? He couldn't figure it out at all. Wasn't he scolding him just now? Why did he look so worried about Di Hao Ian now? Tang Bao called a taxi and rushed to the bar. When he arrived at the bar, he saw He Ju standing there waiting for him. How is it? Where's Di Hao Ian? Why didn't he go to the hospital if something happened? Tang Bao was extremely anxious. Why was He Ju so calm? He Ju said, Young madam will know when we go in. Then, He Ju led Tang Bao into the bar and to the door of the private room. Tang Bao didn't ask any more questions. He was worried about Di Hao Ian and directly opened the door of the private room. However, he only saw Gu Linshin, who was sitting on the sofa smoking and giving off a cold aura. Thinking of the conversation between the two of them on the phone, Tang Bao felt angry in his heart. He looked around, but he didn't see Di Hao Ian. Young master is in the inner room, He Ju said. Tang Bao saw a door inside, walked over, and pushed the door open. He saw Di Hao Ian lying on the bed with his eyes closed. His tall figure occupied more than half of the bed. His long and narrow eyes were closed, and his face was calm. She wanted to see where he was injured, but she didn't see him. After holding her breath and approaching, she only smelled the smell of alcohol on Di Hao Ian's body. Why was it the smell of alcohol? Didn't they say that something happened? Tang Bao suddenly thought of Gu Linshin's phone call and He Ju's phone call. Neither of them said that something had happened to Di Hao Ian. They only said that something had happened. Tang Bao said that something had happened to Di Hao Ian. Coupled with the atmosphere when he walked into the private room just now, it didn't seem like something had happened to Di Hao Ian at all. Forget about Gu Linshin. He Ju was so calm. If something had really happened to Di Hao Ian, how could he stay out of it? So, Di Hao Ian was fine, and he was just drunk? After knowing that Di Hao Ian was fine, Tang Bao knew that he should turn around and leave. However, her body seemed to have lost control, and she didn't want to leave. Chapter 246. Tang Bao originally thought that she did not miss Di Hao Ian. It was not until she saw this person that she realized that she missed him. How long had it been since she last saw him? It had been almost half a month. His face was thinner than it was half a month ago, and the lines were more defined. I'm sorry, Tang Bao said guiltily and painfully. Her voice was very low, for fear of waking Di Hao Ian up. With the hoarseness of crying, tears dripped down. Those words were all lies. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Tang Bao bit her lip after saying that, for fear that her crying would be heard by others. She stood quietly by the bed and looked at Di Hao Ian's face. When her gaze fell on his tightly shut eyes, she thought of the domineering things Di Hao Yin did to her. Her heart throbbed uncontrollably. She could not help but lower her head and kiss Di Hao Yin's thin lips. Tang Bao told herself that she would leave in a moment. Feeling Di Hao Yin's slightly cool temperature, Tang Bao's longing heart was filled. Her eyes were so hot that tears were about to fall. However, when she looked up, she suddenly bumped into a pair of dark and deep eyes. It shocked Tang Bao so much that her tears froze. When did Di Hao Yin open his eyes? Wasn't he drunk and unconscious? Tang Bao was so scared that she wanted to pull away. However, just as she straightened up and wanted to run, her arm was clamped by a big hand that was as strong as an iron chain. Tang Bao's heart was about to jump out of her throat. "What are you doing?" Di Hao Yin's face was cold. I didn't do anything." "You were drunk and saw wrongly," Tang Bao quibbled. "Since you only have someone else in your heart, who are you pretending for?" Di Hao Yin suddenly increased the strength of his hand. "Or are you here to laugh at me?" The pain in Tang Bao's arm made her frown. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm Lan Wanru." Tang Bao felt that even if Di Hao Yin was drunk, he would still be talking nonsense. He did not want to admit that he was the Tang Bao and did not want Di Hao Yin to know that he was the Tang Bao. It was a lame way to deceive oneself, but Tang Bao had no other choice. "Since you are Lan Wanru, then I won't be polite." "What?" Before Tang Bao could come back to his senses, a shadow loomed over him. It was a completely different experience and feeling from before. The long-lost feeling almost made Tang Bao's heart stop beating. He stood there in a daze. She knew that the person Di Hao Yin was in contact with was Lan Wanru. Otherwise, he wouldn't treat her like this. He loathed her. Then, was this how Di Hao Yin usually treated Lan Wanru, in a place that she could not see? Tang Bao should have been strong enough to push Di Hao Yin away, but she could not reach out her hand. Her two small hands clenched into fists tightly to suppress the panic in her heart. She hid her real emotions. Tang Bao felt pain in her hand. Then, the groggy Tang Bao was pushed away. Tang Bao was dizzy from the lack of oxygen. She lost her balance and fell to the ground. Her watery eyes stared blankly at Di Hao Yin's cold face. "Why didn't you refuse?" There was nothing else on Di Hao Yin's face except for the dark and terrifying emotions. Tang Bao felt that if she was not Yu Songhuan's savior, she would have died here. Why didn't she refuse? Of course, Tang Bao could not tell the truth. What she did to Di Hao Yin was already wrong. "Did you think that if you kissed me, I wouldn't be angry and would let Di Junbai go?" Tang Bao's lowered gaze trembled. She looked up and asked, "Did you really lock him up?" Tang Bao was silent just now, but she reacted the moment she heard Di Junbai. In Di Hao Yin's dark eyes, he wanted to tear Tang Bao into pieces. Sensing Di Hao Yin's unusual aura and his eyes were full of coldness, Tang Bao did not dare to continue speaking. She was about to suffocate. "Didn't you already go to the private residence and know that Di Junbai is locked up there?" Tang Bao was shocked. The fact that she went to the private residence did not escape Di Hao Yin's eyes. "Do you want me to let him out and let you go with him?" Di Hao Yin asked coldly. "I won't go with him." Even if she was not Di Hao Yin's wife now, she would not go to Di Junbai. "You won't? Didn't you say what you said that night?" "I said it, but..." Tang Bao was very conflicted now. It felt like what she said and what she did were different. Di Hao Yin waited for Tang Bao to say but. However, Tang Bao did not say anything. If she could not say it, then what she said just now was a lie. Di Hao Yin's eyes became colder. "Let him out. Don't even think about it. I'll lock him up until he dies." Tang Bao was shocked. She looked at the cruelty in Di Hao Yin's eyes and said in confusion, "He's your brother. Will you let him die?" Di Hao Yin did not say anything. The air was very oppressive. "Di Hao Yin, if you plead for mercy for him again, I'll kill him right now." Di Hao Yin's dark eyes turned ruthless. Tang Bao's words were stuck in her throat, and she could not say it. She knew that Di Hao Yin's words were never to be disobeyed. When the time came, she was afraid that she would not be able to stop him. Tang Bao was still sitting on the ground. She stood up for the ground silently. She did not say anything and walked towards the door as if she was about to leave. Di Hao Ian's dark eyes stared coldly at Tang Bao's slender figure. When Tang Bao's figure stopped, his dark eyes also moved. It was as if there was some kind of expectation that was deeply hidden. Tang Bao turned around and met Di Hao Ian's eyes. She said, "If you kill him, I will never forgive you for the rest of my life." After saying that, she did not dare to look closely at Di Hao Ian's expression. She turned around and ran away. She was afraid that if she did not run away, she would be dead. However, before she could run to the door of the private room, she heard a heavy thud from the inner room. It sounded as if something had been overturned. Tang Bao's heart sank. She bit her lip and left the private room. Tang Bao shuttled through the corridor of the bar. Tears were welling up in her eyes. Did she hurt Di Hao Ian again? But if she did not say that, what if Di Junbai was really killed by him? If Di Hao Ian killed his own brother, would he not be criticized? Would he not regret it in the future? After all, the dead could not be brought back to life. She was the same. Could she pretend that nothing had happened if Di Junbai was dead? That was impossible. Tang Bao, who was distracted, was directly dragged into the private room next to her. Who is it? Tang Bao, who was dragged into the private room, looked at Gu Linshun, who was looking at her coldly from above. She came back to her senses and shook off his grip. "What are you doing?" Chapter 247. Tang Bao was forced to retreat. Don't do anything rash. Are you afraid now? Weren't you very courageous on the phone? I dare you to scold me again. Gu Linshun looked at her gloomily. Tang Bao was frightened by his stare. She kept retreating, not want to have any conflict with Gu Linshun. "Calm down. I scolded you because I was not calm before. I regret it now." Tang Bao felt that it was better to be sensible. Who knew what kind of crazy Gu Linshun would do? When the time came, she would be the one to suffer. "Since you regret it, then tell me about the matter between you and Di Hao Ian." Gu Linshun stopped approaching her and looked down at her. Tang Bao frowned. "Why must I know? This is between Di Hao Ian and me. I want to know now." Gu Linshun said firmly. "Why are you so unreasonable? Why do you care so much about the matter between a husband and wife?" Tang Bao was unhappy. "Who asked me to want to know more after hearing about you?" Tang Bao frowned even more. "What nonsense are you talking about? When you were in the Middle East, you had a video call with Di Hao Ian, right?" Of course Tang Bao remembered. And at that time, she was deceived by Di Hao Ian. Thinking about it now made her blush. But what did Gu Linshun mean? He knew. "Unfortunately, I heard the conversation between the two of you." Gu Linshun narrowed his eyes dangerously. Tang Bao was embarrassed and angry. "You are shameless." Gu Linshun's expression changed. Tang Bao was so frightened that she took a step back. However, she was not as imposing as Gu Linshun and had nowhere to run. "Gu Linshun, let go of me." Tang Bao struggled. Gu Linshun grabbed Tang Bao's hands and said, "Why don't you divorce Di Hao Ian and come with me? Anyway, the two of you are about to get a divorce." "Let me go." Tang Bao would not talk to such a lunatic. "If you don't let me go, I'll call for help. Even if you scream yourself hoarse, no one will come to save you." Gu Linshun had just finished speaking when there was a knock on the door. Tang Bao felt relieved and looked at Gu Linshun mockingly. Didn't they say that no one would come? Gu Linshun let go of the Tang Bao and opened the door. Hiju stood outside the door. "What is it?" Before Hiju could say anything, Tang Bao immediately walked out of the private room. He glanced at Hiju and turned to leave. Hiju did not say anything. She gave Gu Linshun a strange look and left as well. Gu Linshun looked coldly at the men guarding the door and asked eerily, "What do I need you for?" Hiju followed Tang Bao as she stood by the roadside and waited for a car. "Young madam, I'll get a car to send you back." "No need, I'll take a taxi. Don't worry about my safety." Tang Bao got into the car after the car arrived. The car left the bar. Tang Bao leaned against the seat as if she had collapsed. That was not because of Gu Linshun's helplessness. It was because of Di Hao Ian. She did not dare to get close to Di Hao Ian. She had no choice but to do so. When she got close to him, she realized that she would lose control. What would Di Hao Ian think of her? Was she shameless? She actually wanted to plead for mercy for Di Junbai in front of Di Hao Ian. Actually, that was not her original intention when she went to look for Di Hao Ian. However, Tang Bao could not bring herself to say it when the taxi driver asked her where she wanted to go. Tang Bao thought for a while. It was too late at this time. If she went to Wan Malay's place, she would definitely be asleep. She did not want to disturb her. If she went back to the Tang family, there was no servant on night duty. There was only one, and he had to get up to open the door for her. In the end, Tang Bao returned to the castle. Zhongli came out to welcome her. "Young madam, why are you back so late? It's not safe for you to be outside alone. I should have asked the driver to pick you up. Is there anyone who dares to harm me? There are a lot of bad people out there now. Who knows? Aren't I fine now?" "That's true." Tang Bao entered the hall and looked around. She had not been back for a few days. Everything looked the same. This did not change anything. She was not here, and Di Hao Ian was not back either. It was as if this place had suddenly become uninhabited. Actually, Di Hao Ian did not have to do this. If he wanted to come back, but did not want to see her, she could have stayed at the Tang family's house. Tang Bao went back to her room and started to take a shower. While she was taking a shower, the bathroom door was pushed open without any warning. Tang Bao could only hear the sound of the shower water. She did not notice that someone had pushed open the bathroom door. She did not expect anyone to push it open, because only Di Hao Ian would push it open. Lan Wanru came to look for Tang Bao, but there was no one in the room. Then she heard the sound of water in the bathroom. Tang Bao must be taking a shower. She originally wanted to wait outside, but when she thought about how Di Hao Ian and Di Junbai both liked Tang Bao, she wanted to know what else she had besides being young. She must have a young appearance and not a good figure. So, she wanted to find out more. However, when she pushed the door open and saw Tang Bao's figure in the mist, she was stunned. There was not a trace of fat. When clothes were worn, they could cover up the body's flaws. People with seemingly perfect figures could not bear to take off their clothes. However, Tang Bao's perfect figure made Lan Wanru's blood boil. So, was this the reason why Di Hao Ian and Di Junbai wanted Tang Bao? Di Hao Ian did not even look at other women. Was it because of Tang Bao's figure? "Ah, what are you doing?" Tang Bao, who was taking a shower, turned her head slightly and saw Lan Wanru standing at the bathroom door and staring at her. She was so scared that she screamed and quickly covered herself with a bath towel. "Are you crazy? I have something to talk to you about," Lan Wanru said coldly and slammed the door shut. His attitude was very bad. Tang Bao was really scared. Was Lan Wanru crazy? When did the bathroom door open? What was she looking at? Tang Bao only felt a chill in her heart. When she thought of Lan Wanru waiting outside, she was even less in the mood to take a shower. She put on her pajamas and walked out of the bathroom. Lan Wanru stood outside with a cold expression. It was as if she was not the one who peeked at Tang Bao, but the other way around. "Did you ask for my permission to enter the room?" Tang Bao asked coldly. "Brother Hao Ian said that I can go anywhere in the castle." Chapter 248. When did I peek at you taking a shower? I just happened to open the door and let you see me. Do you think everyone wants to see you just because you have a good figure? I have what you have too. Do I need to look at you? Even if you have a young body now, you're not clean anymore. Do you still want Brother Hao Ian to look at you again? He will feel dirty if he touches you. Tang Bao's heart was boiling with anger and tearing. It was very uncomfortable, but she tried hard to suppress her emotions and asked, "You came here to tell me this? If you're done, get out. Who do you think wants to stay in your room? I came here to ask you if you have found my brother." Tang Bao looked at Lan Wanru's scheming face indifferently and sneered. "Actually, you know where Di Junbai is, right?" Lan Wanru was slightly stunned and refused to admit, "I don't know. I also told second uncle the same thing." "What did you say?" Lan Wanru asked unhappily. "I said that you asked me to find Di Junbai, but you didn't say where Di Junbai is. I think you don't know." "Second uncle?" Tang Bao paused. "What did my uncle say?" Lan Wanru quickly asked. "He didn't say anything. He didn't look too good." Lan Wanru was angry. "Tang Bao, you were trying to drive a wedge between us." "Did I?" Tang Bao blinked innocently. Didn't second uncle tell you where Di Junbai is? Didn't you not tell me? I was just telling the truth. Lan Wanru, who had the upper hand just now, was now unsettled by Tang Bao's rebuttal. Di Lingwei was a paranoid person. Would he have any thoughts about it? I just forgot. But you shouldn't have said that. Lan Wanru still refused to admit that he did it on purpose. You should say this to second uncle. It is useless to say this to me. I will tell my uncle. I don't need you to teach me. Let me ask you, have you seen my brother? Are you going to save him? Lan Wanru asked arrogantly. Tang Bao thought for a while and said, I was going to save him. I was also going to find Di Hao Ian and ask him to let Di Junbai go. But when I found out that you plot against me, I don't want to save him. What? He's your friend. You've known him for so many years. Can you bear to see something happen to him? If you have the heart to use him to plot against me and Di Hao Ian, why can't I? Tang Bao's words made Lan Wanru so angry that his face turned pale. You have become so dirty, yet you still want to stay by Brother Hao Ian's side. Have you always been so shameless? Yes, I'm already like this. Di Hao Ian still wants me, but he doesn't want you. I only feel that you are pitiful. Tang Bao retorted without any anger. Lan Wanru was so angry that he couldn't breathe properly. He turned around and left. Tang Bao's face became calm. He sat on the edge of the bed and stared blankly ahead. Yes, in Di Hao Ian's eyes, she was dirty right now. She still had to stay by Di Hao Ian's side. Wasn't this also a kind of torture? She was the one who put the psychological pressure on herself. When she got up in the morning and went downstairs, she thought that she would see Lan Wanru when she entered the dining room. But there was no one there. Zhongli saw that she was in a daze and hurriedly said, Lan Juhua went back early in the morning. Did she say that she would come again? She didn't say. Tang Bao felt that with Di Hao Ian's amnesty order, she would definitely come again, but she wouldn't be as unscrupulous as before. It seemed that the feeling of living under someone else's roof wasn't very good. Otherwise, why would she hurriedly go back after knowing that she was trying to sow discord? This was a good thing for Tang Bao. At least he didn't have to worry about her being in a bad mood when he returned to the castle. After Tang Bao finished his breakfast, Lian asked Zhongli in the dining room, What did you call Miss Lan? Zhongli was slightly surprised. When he called her Lan Juhua, he didn't notice that the butler was present. What a mistake. He hurriedly said, I'm sorry, I won't call her that next time. I won't call her that in front of you. It's a nice name, Lian said and left. Zhongli was left behind. When Tang Bao returned to the company, he saw Wan Malay walking around in the office. Tang Bao walked in. Why are you spinning around like a top? Can you be more conscientious? Who am I spinning for? After Wan Malay complained, she hurriedly asked, How is it? What do you mean? You and the young master. Have you made up? But seeing how you were in a hurry last night, the two of you must have made up, right? Wan Malay guessed. No. He didn't look as anxious as you. And didn't the young master feel touched when he saw how anxious you were? Tang Bao, let me tell you, if the young master says that he wants to let bygones be bygones, don't stubbornly disagree. If you want to find a man who treats you as well as the young master, you won't be able to find one. Which man would spend money on his wife without restraint? He gave her a black card, gave her a brand, and sent delicious food to the company every day. If Tang Bao wanted the stars in the sky, he would pluck them for her. Tang Bao didn't say anything. She felt that it was impossible for Di Hao Ian to not care, and she couldn't do it herself. Even if Di Hao Ian let bygones be bygones, wouldn't she feel pressured when they were together in the future? She didn't even dare to let Di Hao Ian touch her. Did you hear what I said? You're thinking too much. The person who called yesterday was Gu Linshan. He used Di Hao Ian's phone to call. You went to see Gu Linshan last night? No. Gu Linshan said that something happened to Di Hao Ian. I thought something had happened, but when I went, I found out that Di Hao Ian was just drunk. There was nothing. Then I came back. I wanted to go to your place, but I thought that you might be asleep, so I went back to the castle. So, when you scolded the idiot on the phone last night, you weren't scolding Di Hao Ian but Gu Linshan. Wang Malay's brain couldn't wrap itself around it. Yes. Why did you scold him? He was kind enough to tell you about Di Hao Ian's situation, didn't he? Why are you looking at me like that? Are you trying to get even with me because of a man? Tang Bao asked in disbelief. I realized that in front of your idols and male idols, I don't even know where I'm ranked. Is there a second place? Definitely second. Why? The first place is Gu Linshen, and the second place is you. What about your idol, Yu Lianlian? No, I don't think there are any photos of you and Yu Lianlian in your wallet. Where are the photos? Tang Bao asked. Idol? Yu Lianlian isn't a celebrity anymore. What do you mean? Tang Bao was stunned. The popular movie star was gone just like that? Because of the drugging incident. It was young Master D's doing. Chapter 249. It turned out that Yu Lianlian was also ruthlessly dealt with by Di Hao Ian. To Yu Lianlian, her career that was at its peak suddenly fell to the bottom. If it wasn't ruthless, then what was? That's understandable. You don't know how scary the young master was when he couldn't find you no matter how hard he tried. Moreover, he even said that if anything happened to you, everyone would be buried with you. He just made it so that Yu Lianlian couldn't become a celebrity. This is already his mercy. Tang Bao was shocked. You didn't say that. I didn't say that. That's because what happened between you and Di Junbai happened, and I didn't have time to care about it. Also, you should have noticed young master's hands. He dug through the wreckage of the villa with his bare hands. Even when his hands were badly mangled, he didn't stop until he found you. Tang Bao didn't know anything about what happened that day, except for himself. She couldn't imagine how Di Hao Ian would feel when he found out that she and Di Junbai had done that kind of thing. Tang Bao felt even more guilty towards Di Hao Ian. Why didn't she protect herself that day? If she protected herself, well, how would she become like this? Lan Wanru returned home early and specially came back to have breakfast with her family. Then, she told Di Lingyue about what happened in the castle recently. When Di Lingyue asked her why she didn't tell Tang Bao where Di Junbai was imprisoned, Lan Wanru admitted it. She put the blame on Tang Bao. Tang Bao was framing her. In the end, Di Lingyue didn't say anything. However, Lan Wanru couldn't guess what Di Lingyue was thinking. She didn't dare to go to the castle for the time being. Li Yuhuai was her aunt, but Di Lingyue wasn't related to her by blood after all. However, Di Lingyue was the head of the family. Even Li Yuhuai had to listen to him. Therefore, Lan Wanru's life wasn't easy. But she had no choice. She was raised by the Di family since she was young. It wasn't that she didn't know the kindness of raising her. It was precisely because she knew that she was careful. Miss, Xiao Rue wants to see you. Lan Wanru was surprised. He hadn't seen Xiao Rue for a long time. He didn't know what she was here for. Lan Wanru naturally met him. But when he saw that Xiao Rue was wearing a mask, he found it strange that only her eyes were exposed. What are you doing? I wore a mask because I didn't want to scare you. Lan Wanru looked at Xiao Rue with eyes full of hatred and asked, What happened to your face? Di Hao Ian destroyed it. Why did he ruin your face? Because he felt that I shouldn't have a face similar to Tang Bao's, so he destroyed it. Lan Wanru thought, You must have done something to make Brother Hao Qian attack you. However, she did not probe further. He only said, Yes, it's too ruthless. Even I'm scared. Yes, I hate it so much. After destroying my face, I have nothing left. But in the end, this is not Di Hao Qian's fault. The fault lies in the existence of Tang Bao. If it weren't for her, you wouldn't have been abandoned by Di Hao Ian and ended up in your current state. What do you think? I know. I can't wait to kill Tang Bao immediately. It's just that I haven't achieved my goal, Xiao Rue said hatefully. You don't have to worry about this. A self-righteous person like that won't have a good ending in the end. You don't have to be anxious. There's still a long way to go. I know. I feel much better after talking to you. Lan Wanru smiled gently and didn't say anything. At the dinner table of Di Lingyue's house, the atmosphere wasn't very good when the three of them ate because Di Junbai hadn't returned yet. No one knew if he was dead or alive. Li Yuhuai was even more depressed. If it weren't for Di Lingyue's suppression, she would have cried in front of him every day. I heard that Xiao Rue wore a mask when she came to find you. Li Yuhuai didn't ignore his niece. Yes, because her face was destroyed by Brother Haoyin. She said that she was afraid of scaring me, Lan Wanru said. Why did Di Haoyin destroy her face? Li Yuhuai asked. Lan Wanru glanced at Di Lingwei, who was eating silently before saying, It's because Brother Haoyin felt that she shouldn't have a face that looks similar to Tang Bao. So he destroyed it. She hates Brother Haoyin very much now. She even said that she couldn't wait to kill Brother Haoyin. I feel that her mind is twisted. If she didn't do something, Brother Haoyin wouldn't treat her like that. Don't hang out with this kind of person in the future. Who knows what she will do? Li Yuhuai said. Okay, Lan Wanru replied and glanced at Di Lingwei again. Di Lingwei looked like he was eating on the surface, but he had a plan in his mind. Tang Bao and Wan Malay got off work and entered the elevator. Going to my place again? Wan Malay asked. Yes, to accompany you. Wan Malay was speechless. What do you want to eat? Assorted noodles. Can you eat something else? I'm going to vomit. Bird's nest noodles. Exclamation point. Wan Malay was speechless. It's too expensive. Change again. What kind of morals did Di Haoyin raise in you? The more you eat, the more expensive it is. The cheap ones can't satisfy your appetite, right? Tang Bao tilted his head and seriously thought about what she should eat tonight. After thinking for a while, he couldn't think of anything that attracted him. He realized that everything he ate now was the same. After walking out of the elevator and to the roadside, Tang Bao still couldn't think of anything to eat. I say, what exactly are you? Wan Malay was about to ask Tang Bao if he had thought of something when he was interrupted. Tang Bao Malay. Tang Bao and Wan Malay turned their heads and saw two of their former female classmates and a male classmate bumping into each other. Wan Malay was surprised. Why are you here? We're here for an interview today, one of the classmates said. Then did you pass the interview? Wan Malay asked. I don't know. We have to wait for the notice. After the interview, we want to treat you and Tang Bao to a meal. Wan Malay thought, this is great. Tang Bao doesn't have to think about what to eat tonight. Tang Bao thought, this is great. I don't have to worry about what to eat tonight. So, the three of them went to the restaurant. After they arrived, Tang Bao and Wan Malay realized that the restaurant was quite high class. It didn't look like a simple meal, but no one said anything. The five of them called for a private room. Tang Bao didn't stand on ceremony and started to order all kinds of dishes. Van Milla pinched her legs with her hands. Especially when Tang Bao ordered an expensive dish, Wan Malay pinched her once. But Tang Bao still focused on ordering. Wan Malay thought, am I not pinching her hard enough? When she saw that Tang Bao ordered an especially expensive bird's nest, Wan Malay covered half of her face with her hand. She felt that she couldn't eat anymore, especially when she realized that her classmates didn't look too good. She really wanted to tell them that she didn't have a good relationship with Tang Bao. And Tang Bao didn't seem to notice the change in her classmates' expressions when she ordered. That's right. She hasn't even found a job yet. Chapter 250. After Tang Bao finished ordering, he looked at the menu in front of them and asked, Are you guys done ordering? We're done. I'm done too, Tang Bao said and handed the menu to the waiter. Wan Malay thought to herself, if you don't finish ordering, they're going to cry. However, the students finally calmed down. They realized after the dishes were served. It was not the bird's nest that Tang Bao ordered for himself, but a bowl for each of them. In other words, the bird's nest for the five of them was more than 10,000. Wan Malay stared at the bird's nest in front of her and thought, I haven't eaten bird's nest before. Should I eat it or not? The other students also looked troubled. Why are you staring at it and not eating? Let me tell you, the weather is cold now. Eating bird's nest is the best for your skin. You don't even need to use skincare products, Tang Bao explained to them. What could the students do? They were the ones who said that they would treat them to a meal, and they were also the ones who brought them here to eat. Tang Bao did not pick them himself. Therefore, they could only swallow their bitterness. Halfway through the meal, Tang Bao said that he needed to go to the bathroom. He stood up and went out. Wan Malay quickly followed him. You're out? Then go and settle the bill. Tang Bao glanced at Wan Malay and said, Juan Malay was stunned. You're treating? What else? Didn't you see their expressions? And my expression? I was still thinking, why are you so careless? That dish can only be paid if they put their money together. Tang Bao stood there and did not continue to walk forward. He asked Juan Malay, you know the current situation of our company, right? Students from ordinary universities don't want to be hired. Di Hao Ian is using T standards to ask of our company. Moreover, although Di Hao Ian is ignoring me now, the company's system has not changed. Do you think the HR department will approve it? Indeed, the people who come for the interview must be from famous universities. So if I don't pass the interview, at least I'll treat them to a meal so that they won't have any thoughts about me. You're really something. Juan Malay was impressed by Tang Bao. Don't be fooled by the fact that the Tang Bao sometimes looks like a fool. In fact, he was very smart. Fortunately, T didn't interfere with the company when I joined. Juan Malay sighed. It's okay. If that's the case, I'll beg Di Hao Ian. It's just I'm not that close with these students, so I won't go to the HR department to open the back door. Hurry up and pay. Okay. She left the card with Juan Malay and went to pay the bill. The door to the private room wasn't closed. When Juan Malay and Tang Bao were about to go in, they heard the students in the private room talking. Why are you blaming me? How would I have known that they would be so insensible as to order something so expensive? They even ordered bird's nest. I haven't eaten it before. I don't know how to explain to my parents when I go back. Seriously, it's not like they don't know that we don't have money. Forget it. After eating such an expensive meal, we'll definitely be able to join the company. When the time comes, we'll earn it back in the company. That way we won't feel so bad. Juan Malay looked at Tang Bao. Both of them didn't look too good. However, they didn't say anything and went into the private room with their usual expressions. As soon as they went in, the people inside immediately put on smiling faces as if nothing had happened just now. When it was time to pay the bill, one of the students asked the waiter to pay the bill. The waiter came over and said, "The bill has been paid." Paid? Who paid? The students looked at each other. It was strange that it wasn't the other party who paid the bill. "Oh, I paid when I went to the washroom," Tang Bao said. Then one of the students immediately said, "Tang Bao, how can you be like this? We said that we'll treat you to a meal. Won't you give us such an opportunity? You're treating us like outsiders." Tang Bao smiled faintly and said nonchalantly, "You said that you'll treat me to a meal, so I can't not tactfully order something so expensive. Moreover, you haven't found a job yet. How can I let you treat me to a meal? Just treat us as classmates. I'll treat you to a meal." Tang Bao's seemingly unintentional words hit the nail on the head. The students were so ashamed that their faces turned red. After the meal, Tang Bao and Juan Malay parted ways with their classmates. The two of them walked around the streets. This way, even if they don't get the interview in the future, they won't dare to look for you, Juan Malay said. Tang Bao smiled and said, "Why don't we go to the bar to play? Are you telling the truth?" "Yeah. Anyway, I can't sleep if I go back so early." "Is your 500,000 enough?" Juan Malay asked. "You can treat me." Juan Malay panicked. "I haven't gotten my car back yet. Put on the tab. Owe me first." Too stingy. In the end, they still went to the bar. The two of them mixed in with the crowd and danced. Actually, the two of them didn't know how to dance. They just jumped around like crazy. When they were tired, they leaned on the bar counter and asked for drinks. Tang Bao picked up a glass and gulped it down. Juan Malay was about to drink when he was shocked. "Are you drinking water?" Tang Bao burped and blinked his long eyelashes. "People drink. Don't get drunk. I can't carry you later." Before Tang Bao could say anything, the bartender said, "You don't have to carry me. There's a VIP room upstairs." Juan Malay thought, "I'm trying to persuade him to drink. Why are you interrupting?" However, Tang Bao was still enthusiastic. "This is good. Don't go back tonight. If you get drunk, you can sleep here." Juan Malay. As a result, Tang Bao started drinking even more recklessly. "Can you drink at the same pace as me?" Juan Malay hoped that he would drink slower. "How can I? My alcohol tolerance is better than yours." Tang Bao thought so. Just as Juan Malay and Tang Bao were arguing about who could drink better, a man came up to them. Malay was also squeezed by another man. It's only interesting when you drink like this. Tang Bao looked at the man with a frivolous smile and frowned. Who are you? I'm Alan. I've been attracted to you since you entered the bar, Alan said. Really? Of course. You'll know when you see my eyes. Malay looked at Tang Bao, who was leaning forward to look at other people's eyes. She was worried. Don't be taken away by a stranger. Alan was happy when he saw the little beauty leaning forward. Just as he was waiting for the little beauty to jump into his arms, he heard Tang Bao say, "You're so ugly." Alan's face froze. "You're so ugly. How can you hit on me?" Chapter 251. Basically, as long as he hit on a woman, she would be willing to be with him. It was the first time he met a girl who was so refreshing in a bar. Her face was pure natural beauty, without any makeup. How could he give up when he met her? Although I'm not very handsome, it's easy for women to fall head over heels for me. Also, as long as I've met a woman, she'll definitely ask for my contact number, Alan said confidently. Tang Bao didn't understand and asked why. Because my face is very good looking. Alan deliberately leaned closer to Tang Bao and said, Malay couldn't sit still anymore. Hey, I'm telling you, stay away. Before she could finish, she was stopped by someone. The person who stopped her was not Alan, but Tang Bao. Malay stared at Tang Bao in disbelief. Could it be that this fellow was really drunk and delirious? How good looking are you? Tang Bao, who stopped Malay, continued to deal with Alan. Do you want to try? Alan's eyes sparkled. The meaning behind it couldn't be more clear. Okay. Tang Bao finished the wine in his glass and agreed. He put the glass on the bar and said, It's your treat. Let's settle the bill first, and then we'll try. Alan paid for the wine generously and left the bar with Tang Bao. Tang Bao didn't forget to turn around and say to Malay, You go back first, be careful. Tang Bao, are you drunk or something? Malay went forward and was about to pull Tang Bao away when she was stopped by the man next to her. The two of them are a couple. Why don't we be a couple? Malay stared at the man in front of her. So this was the purpose of staying at the side for so long without saying anything or doing anything. Get out of my way. They're in love. Don't disturb them. The man didn't give way. Malay couldn't break through. She threw the glass over and hit the man's shoulder. The man's good-tempered face suddenly turned sour. You're really shameless. He raised his hand and was about to hit. However, before the slap could land, it was intercepted in midair. Malay turned around and looked at Hee-ju in surprise. You, why are you here? Hee-ju didn't say anything and shook the man off forcefully. The man was flung far away by the strength of a professional fighter. Malay couldn't care less about the man who had fallen flat on his face. She still hadn't recovered from the shock of Hee-ju's appearance. Are you sure that Di Hao-ian is not here? Hee-ju was always by Di Hao-ian's side. Malay thought it was over. The Tang Bao had booked a room with another man. He hadn't gone far yet. Tang Bao felt the effects of the alcohol kick in. She drank too much. Only now did his body react. Her face was red and she felt dizzy. Just as she swayed, someone immediately came to support her. Io, can you still walk? Do you want me to carry you? Tang Bao looked at the face in front of her. The more she looked at it, the uglier it became. She could recognize people now. She would definitely teach him a lesson later. Want to take advantage of her? Dream on. Tang Bao pushed him away. What's the hurry? You can carry me when we reach the room. Can you walk on your own? Of course. Tang Bao staggered forward. Hey, no, that's the toilet. This is the elevator. Alan quickly pulled her back. Tang Bao turned around and walked to the elevator. The elevator door hadn't opened yet. Tang Bao leaned weakly against the closed elevator door. She thought that she had to conserve her strength now. She would beat this man until he became a pig's head later. Alan didn't know what Tang Bao was thinking. He stared at the pink and cute Tang Bao covetously. He thought about the good things he would do later. The elevator door opened with a ding. Tang Bao's reaction was okay. She stood up and was about to go into the elevator. However, she was too close. Her left foot hooked her right foot, and she staggered forward. She fell into the arms of the person in the elevator. Di Hao-ian was so expressionless that it was frightening. He looked at Alan, who was about to enter the elevator. He lifted his foot. He kicked Alan out of the elevator. Ah! With a miserable cry, the elevator door slowly closed. Tang Bao didn't know whose arm she had fallen into. Her muddled brain thought that she had fallen into Alan's arms. She put her hands on top and whispered, "I didn't expect that such an ugly person would have such a good figure. Is it fun?" A cold voice came from above her head. Tang Bao lifted her heavy head weakly. She raised her small face and looked at Di Hao Yan's clear face with drunken eyes. She didn't want to try hard to see clearly. If she did, she would become ugly. But why did she feel so sad when she looked at him? It made her want to cry. It's better to be drunk. This way, it's much more pleasing to the eye. Tang Bao smiled, but the corners of her eyes were glistening with tears. She rudely grabbed Di Hao Yan's collar with her two small hands and asked, "Don't you think so? Why aren't you talking? Don't you want to talk to me?" Di Hao Yan's face was only cold as he looked at Tang Bao in a drunken state. Tang Bao didn't get a response. She lowered her head and pressed it against Di Hao Yan's body. "I said, your heart is beating so fast." Di Hao Yan's eyes turned cold. He immediately pushed Tang Bao away. Tang Bao was relying on Di Hao Yan to barely stand. She fell backward after being pushed, especially when the elevator door happened to open. She was about to fall out of the elevator. Di Hao Yan's face was tense. He stepped forward and hugged her waist. Tang Bao, who was falling backward, used the strength of the arm around her waist to bounce back to Di Hao Yan's chest. Her two small hands clung to Di Hao Yan's broad shoulders and refused to let go. She intimately clung to Di Hao Yan's clothes, and her soft hair rubbed against his clothes like a caress. Di Hao Yan's whole body tensed up. His tough heart softened. His current mood was that he cruelly pushed her away, but when she was about to fall, he couldn't control himself and hugged her. He knew that he shouldn't care about her, but he still showed up here. Damn it, she actually wanted to play with another man. Di Hao Yan's face was extremely gloomy. As long as he didn't ask for a divorce, Tang Bao would never have this freedom, no matter who she was with. Di Hao Yan brought Tang Bao into the room. Tang Bao still didn't let go. She stayed in Di Hao Yan's arms. Di Hao Yan coldly pulled Tang Bao's hand. However, his movements suddenly stopped. Tang Bao cried. Tears dripped down one by one. They dripped on Di Hao Yan's hand, the shirt on his chest, and even dripped into his heart. Di Hao Yan then stopped pulling her hand. He changed to holding her big hand. Chapter 252. At this point, Tang Bao was already choking with sobs. Di Hao Yan hooked Tang Bao's chin and made her look up. Her petite face was full of tears, and her eyes were also filled with tears that had yet to fall. "Who am I? Who are you saying these words to?" Di Hao Yan's dark eyes were so sharp that they seemed to pierce into Tang Bao's soul. "You." Tang Bao was already drunk, and now her eyes were filled with tears, so she could not see clearly. She felt that the person in front of her only existed in a crystal world, which made her even more confused. "Who am I?" Di Hao Yan asked. You are. I don't know. I can't see clearly." Tang Bao stammered. Di Hao Yan's expression was fierce. "You can't see clearly, and you can't recognize my voice? Why are you so fierce?" Tang Bao frowned. Her chin was hurting from being pinched. "Who allowed you to play with others?" Di Hao Yan asked coldly. I didn't," Tang Bao asked. "When did I go out to play? I don't want to talk to you. I'm going to sleep." Tang Bao broke away from Di Hao Yan's hand and turned to leave. However, she was pulled back by Di Hao Yan. Tang Bao bumped into Di Hao Yan's strong chest again. "Ouch, it hurts." "Tell me, who is in your heart?" Di Hao Yan asked. Tang Bao blinked weakly and looked at Di Hao Yan in confusion. However, the words that came out of his mouth were without hesitation. "You." After Tang Bao said that, she lay directly on Di Hao Yan's body and fell asleep. When he asked Tang Bao who he was just now, she said she didn't know and couldn't see clearly. So, she was pretending that she didn't know and didn't know? Di Hao Yan's face was extremely gloomy. When Tang Bao woke up, he was in a daze. What was going on? Where was this? Was she drunk? The clothes on his body were also intact. There was no one else beside him. Where's Wan Malay? Tang Bao suddenly remembered that she had left with a man last night. And then he went back to his room? And then? Tang Bao was confused at this moment. When she saw the backpack on the sofa, she immediately went forward and took out her phone. There were missed calls from Wan Malay. Tang Bao immediately called back. You finally called me back, Wan Malay said. Where are you now? It's almost 10 o'clock. Of course I'm in the office. Wan Malay had already started working. She was different from Tang Bao. She is a good employee who is diligent and responsible in her work. Then what happened last night? Tang Bao asked. What happened? You can't remember? I remember a little. I left with a strange man. Yes, you're right. Why didn't you stop me? Tang Bao stomped his feet. Hey, Tang Bao, since you can remember that you left with a strange man, you should remember what you said to me, right? Tang Bao was a little lacking in confidence. What did you say? You told me to go back first and be careful on the road, but I drank too much and my mind was muddled. I told you to go back and you really went back? I didn't go back. I bumped into Ju. Didn't you bump into young Master Di? Di Hao Yin? Tang Bao was stunned. Why is he here? You lost your memory to this extent when you were drunk. Wan Malay felt that Di Hao Yin must have appeared. Otherwise, why would Ju appear? Was this a coincidence? Was this the reason why Ju and Di Hao Yin weren't together? Wan Malay didn't quite believe it, but Tang Bao was even more incredulous than her. I didn't have any effect at all. I don't think Di Hao Yin could have come into contact with me. Maybe you just bumped into Ju. She thought that now that she and Di Hao Yin had gotten into such a fight, it was already too late. Moreover, Di Hao Yin had long ignored her. How could he appear in front of her after she appeared here? Tang Bao felt that he wasn't that important. After the last incident, it was already good enough that Di Hao Yin didn't strangle her to death. After hanging up the phone, Tang Bao walked in circles in the room in frustration, trying to find any clues about Di Hao Yin's appearance. However, he didn't see anything. Tang Bao's gaze finally fell on her backpack. She was so drunk. Did she still have the brain to put her bag on the sofa? It was already good enough that she didn't throw it out of the window. Therefore, Tang Bao was sure that someone had entered the room with her. But who was it? Was it that strange man? Or was it Di Hao Yin? When they arrived at the company, it was almost lunchtime. It was very comfortable being the boss. I'll treat you to lunch, Wan Malay said. Tang Bao was stunned. Why are you suddenly so nice? Tell me honestly, did you do something wrong to me last night? What did I treat you badly? Do you want to eat? You won't get another chance if you pass this village. Of course I'll eat if it's free. The two of them found a restaurant to eat. Tang Bao looked at the street scene outside the glass window in boredom. She looked at the cars and people coming and going. Her head was still dizzy from the hangover. She couldn't lift her spirits. She turned around and found Wan Malay staring at her. What's on my face? Tang Bao asked. You really don't remember last night at all? Tang Bao shook her head. Then you and that strange man? No. Even if she couldn't feel on her body, she was wearing her clothes properly. It didn't make sense. That's good. Tang Bao thought for a moment and asked Wan Malay, do you think Di Hao Yin appeared last night? Is it possible? Why not? Why do you say that? Wan Malay analyzed for her. Think about it. The bar we went to last night was a small one. The expenses in the bar are relatively low. Do you think the young master would go to such a place? But you didn't see Di Hao Yin. Ju is enough. He's the young master's personal bodyguard. What if Ju asked for leave from Di Hao Yin and went there to deal with personal matters? Tang Bao asked again. Why didn't you ask Ju at that time? Tang Bao asked. I did, but he was cold as if I owed him 8 million yuan. He didn't say a word. Tang Bao's head hurt even more. She muttered, what a coward. Who are you calling coward? You. How am I a coward? Wan Malay couldn't take it anymore. I can't get anything out of him, Tang Bao said. He can't get anything out of him. How can I get anything out of him? Then you should get something out of him. After the two of them finished eating, they left the restaurant. As soon as they left, Tang Bao felt a gust of wind go straight into her collar. It was so cold that she shivered. Why is it so cold? Chapter 253. I didn't notice. I don't know if it will snow this year. It should. It snowed last year too. Yes, I remember. We were still in school then. There was a thick layer of snow. Tang Bao's face was full of yearning. Do you want to see snow? How about I have a snowball fight with you? I don't want to. Why is it so strange for two girls to have a snowball fight? Juan Malay immediately said. Tang Bao smiled and didn't say anything. It was indeed strange. Tang Bao returned to the castle. The castle was silent. When Di Hao Ian was here, she never felt this way. Di Hao Ian's aura alone could support the castle, so she didn't feel that the castle was too big and cold. Fortunately, Lan Wanru was no longer here. She didn't have to see someone who made her feel uncomfortable. In the morning, Tang Bao, who was still asleep, suddenly felt her stomach churn. She immediately got out of bed, jumped out of bed, and rushed to the bathroom. She leaned over the toilet and vomited. She vomited all the food she ate last night. What was going on? Why did she suddenly feel nauseous? After vomiting, she felt much better. Seeing that it was almost time to get up, she washed up and went downstairs. Young madam, why do you look so pale? Are you feeling unwell? Zhongli immediately asked. My stomach is a little uncomfortable. I don't know if I ate something bad. Oh, young madam, the food outside is not clean. You must have eaten something unclean. Next time, you can't eat outside. Whatever you want to eat, the kitchen can make it, Zhongli said anxiously. Tang Bao didn't expect that Zhongli would still be so nice to her even if he knew that she had done something bad to Di Hao Yan. This kind of concern made her feel even worse. She was even more at a loss. Young madam, call the doctor. No need. I'm fine now. Don't tell anyone about my stomach, Tang Bao said. Why? I'm fine to begin with, so there's no need to say anything. In fact, Tang Bao did not want Di Hao Yan to know about it. She didn't want Di Hao Yan to think that she was using her body to attract his attention. Things were different now. Even if Di Hao Yan found out one day, he wouldn't blame him. The Tang Bao had no appetite for breakfast. However, she was worried that Zhongli would be worried about her and was in a hurry to tell Li Yin. So she pretended that nothing had happened and ate all the breakfast. After leaving the castle, Tang Bao vomited everything in his stomach. Did he really eat something bad? After returning to the company, Tang Bao, you don't look too good. What's wrong? Juan Malay also noticed. Did you feel any discomfort after you went back from dinner last night or in the morning? Tang Bao asked. No. Are you not feeling well? Tang Bao sat down on the sofa weakly. I vomited twice this morning. My stomach doesn't feel well. Is it serious? Do you want to go to the hospital? There's no need. If you ate something bad, you could just go to the pharmacy to buy some medicine, right? Tang Bao said. Then I'll go buy it for you. Juan Malay said and was about to go. Wait, I'll go with you. Then Tang Bao and Juan Malay went to the pharmacy not far from the company. What medicine do you want to buy? The clerk asked. Juan Malay said on behalf of Tang Bao. She vomited when she woke up in the morning. She also vomited all her breakfast. Her stomach doesn't feel well. It should be caused by the food she ate last night. The clerk looked at the listless Tang Bao with a diagnostic look in his eyes. Did you get your period? Tang Bao was stunned by the question. He thought for a while and said, It's been postponed. How many days? About a week. What's wrong? The clerk gave her the stomach medicine and took out a box of something. He said, This is for early pregnancy. If you don't get pregnant after the test, you can take the stomach medicine. Tang Bao was so scared that his hands trembled and the stomach medicine fell in the glass cabinet. He looked at the clerk with a pale face. Juan Malay was angry when he heard that. How can you say that? She clearly has a stomachache. It's the same when you go to the hospital. If you take medicine recklessly, it's not good for the fetus, so you have to be sure. If you really don't believe the pharmacy, you can go to the hospital, the clerk suggested. Tang Bao lowered his gaze and clenched his fists tightly. His nails dug into his palms so hard that his palms hurt. But she didn't seem to feel anything. Tang Bao didn't take anything and turned to leave. Tang Bao. Juan Malay looked at the medicine and chased after him in annoyance. When he chased outside, he saw Tang Bao standing there motionless. Juan Malay didn't dare to speak too loudly. Tang Bao I used to think that I wouldn't be able to get pregnant, but now I'm pregnant. Don't listen to that clerk. How can you be pregnant? It's only once. How can the probability be so high? Tang Bao's eyes were filled with tears of panic. He said agitatedly, my period has been delayed for so long. It's never happened before. Tang Bao had been worried about her and Di Haoyan recently and didn't notice the changes in her body at all. She only remembered it when the clerk reminded her. Otherwise, she wouldn't have known. Isn't it normal for your period to be delayed? It's all psychological pressure. Besides, you've been so troubled recently. It's very likely that it's delayed. It can't be because you're pregnant. Wang Malay had always been thinking on the bright side. She didn't want Tang Bao to get pregnant at this time. Wouldn't this make things worse? Tang Bao covered his eyes with his hand in pain, but he couldn't hide his tears. Wang Malay's heart ached. Tang Bao, believe me, you won't get pregnant. Or we can go to the hospital now. We'll know when we get to the hospital. After Wang Malay said that, he grabbed Tang Bao's hand and wanted to pull her to the hospital for a checkup. However, Tang Bao pulled her hand back and refused to go. Why does this have to happen to me? What did I do wrong? Tang Bao asked sadly. Tang Bao, calm down. It's just what the clerk said. Nothing has been confirmed yet. If you don't want to go to the hospital, I'll go back and buy you a test paper. You'll know when you go to the company's washroom. Tang Bao didn't say anything. Wang Malay thought that she agreed. She turned around and went to the pharmacy to buy the test paper. When she came out, Tang Bao was gone. Wang Malay was so scared that he quickly called her. Please don't take it too hard. The call was quickly picked up. Tang Bao, where are you? Didn't I tell you to wait for me? Where did you go? Wang Malay asked anxiously. I'm fine. I want to be alone. Then where did you go to be alone? I'm just walking around. I'll go back to the company by myself later. Tang Bao's weak voice came through. Really? You'll go back later? Yes. I'll be fine. Don't worry. Wang Malay was skeptical. Chapter 254. Wang Malay was also very speechless. Why was there another suspected pregnancy? He hoped that this was just a mistake. Otherwise, how could Tang Bao bear this? Tang Bao walked alone on the road. She was hit on the shoulder by someone, but she did not seem to feel it. She looked at the road in front of her blankly. Could it be that she was really pregnant? Could she be pregnant? Could it be that she was not pregnant with Di Haoyan's child, but Di Junbai's? She did not want such an outcome. But what if everything was really going to develop like this? Why did God play such a joke on her? If that was really the case, why did he let her marry Di Haoyan? Wouldn't it be fine if she married Di Junbai directly at the wedding? She would still like Di Junbai, and Di Haoyan would only be her big brother. There would be nothing else. But now, after she found out that she had given her heart to Di Haoyan, she was pregnant with Di Junbai's child. How ridiculous was that? How unacceptable was that? Tang Bao stopped at the side of the road. She did not know how she came to the shopping mall. This shopping mall was the one that she and Di Haoyan had come to the last time. Tang Bao hesitated for a moment and went in. The inside was still the same as before. However, her memory was still stuck at the time when she was with Di Haoyan. She even exchanged drinks with Di Haoyan. She remembered every detail. Why did she remember it so clearly? Di Haoyan had unknowingly seeped into her blood. If she forgot about him, she was afraid that she would have to drain her blood. Tang Bao walked to the place where Di Haoyan had bought her a wolf dog puppy. After entering the store, she walked around twice, but did not see any wolf dog puppies. Can I help you? The shop assistant saw that she was looking for something and came over to ask. I remember that they sell crystal wolf dogs here, Tang Bao said. Oh, you mean that? We don't sell them in our store anymore. Why? Because a man bought our wolf dog accessory and bought it out. He said that we can't sell it in the future. Tang Bao was stunned. She and Di Haoyan had left the shop together. If that was the case, He Ju must have made an agreement with the store owner. She had been following Di Haoyan all this time, but she hadn't noticed. Di Haoyan, he was too domineering. Even something like this must be unique? Then I'll take a look at something else, Tang Bao said as he watched the shop assistant walk away. He looked at the other accessories and gadgets. He could not control his hands and his pockets anymore. Especially when he thought about the fact that she was pregnant, he felt even more uneasy and panicked. He wanted to steal something. Tang Bao tried hard to control himself. Shouldn't she be cured of this problem? Why is there another one? Or had the problem always been there? In the end, when no one was paying attention, Tang Bao took off the nearest accessory and put it into his pocket. He took one after another. His pockets were full. Only then did he lower his head and leave. Tang Bao left the shop in a hurry. However, he was stopped by the mall security guard not long after he left. "You stole something, didn't you?" the security guard asked. Tang Bao denied, "I didn't," but she looked nervous. At this time, she was showing her instinctive emotions. Therefore, she could not hide it. It was easier for people to see that she was guilty. "It's her. She's the one who stole something from our shop." The person behind her caught up. Tang Bao turned around and recognized the shop assistant who spoke to her just now. The shop assistant said, "I saw it clearly on the surveillance camera. It's her." Tang Bao did not expect to be discovered. Her hand in her pocket was pulled by the shop assistant, and the accessories inside fell out. The shop assistant said to the security guard, "Look, I told you that she stole it." Soon, people surrounded her to see the thief. Tang Bao turned around and wanted to run, but she was stopped by the security guard. "Come with us." Tang Bao was taken to the police station. Tang Bao sat in the lobby of the police station and was being interrogated. Tang Bao was very nervous. His quick-witted eyes looked around. There was also a man on the right who was being interrogated. His crime was robbery. He crossed his legs and looked very smug. It was as if he was not in the police station, but in his living room. When he noticed Tang Bao's gaze, the man turned his face and winked at Tang Bao. Tang Bao looked away in disgust. "The value of the items is not high, but your behavior is extremely bad." The police officer interrogating her sat opposite her and said sternly. Tang Bao did not say anything. "Tell me, how many times has it been?" Tang Bao did not want to say. She continued to lower her head. "Why, it's hard to say. Since we're here, I hope you can tell the truth," the police officer said sternly. "It should be 4 times. Are you sure? 5 times, including this time." The police officer checked the records in the computer and said, "Why isn't there any record of your criminal record?" "I wasn't caught the first 4 times." The police officer was speechless. "You're quite good. I can't tell. I've become proficient after stealing so many times." The police officer's expression changed. Tang Bao felt that she had indeed gone overboard with her words and lowered her head. "According to you, if we didn't catch you this time, you would have continued to steal?" The police officer had never seen such a person before. "You look fair, clean, and pretty, but the things you do are not very nice." The police officer looked at her coldly and went to do his own thing. Tang Bao just sat there and waited. She waited for a long time, but no one came to question her. Instead, Hiju came. Tang Bao looked at Hiju in a daze. She looked back and saw a familiar car in the distance outside the glass door. "Let's go," Hiju said. "You're leaving just like that?" Tang Bao asked. "I've greeted him," Hiju said. Tang Bao didn't know how to greet him. Anyway, she thought that Di Haoyan was very capable and no one dared to do anything to him. She followed Hiju out of the police station. When she walked outside and saw the car, her heart trembled. The car was completely black. Even the windows were black. Tang Bao couldn't see the person inside, but she felt the sharp gaze on her. Tang Bao wondered if she should go forward. Would Di Haoyan let her sit in his car? Hiju opened the car door for her. He gave her a choice. The light inside the car was slightly darker than outside. She didn't know if it was because the car was airtight or because the person sitting inside was dressed in black. In short, it was so gloomy. Tang Bao walked towards the car and stood in front of the car door. She looked into the pair of dark eyes and said, "I don't. Do you want me to invite you to the car?" The voice was low and hoarse, but it was obviously cold. Tang Bao, who was interrupted, didn't say anything else. She lowered her head and got into the car. Then the car door closed and left the police station. It was so grand that people who didn't know would think that the police station was under siege. Chapter 255. Tang Bao couldn't take it anymore and said, "I thought I had recovered. I didn't expect that I would still steal things. I'm sorry to have caused you trouble." Seeing Di Haoyan's cold side profile, Tang Bao continued. Actually, the police officer inside was going to let me out. Ju just happened to appear. I didn't expect you to come. But in the future, why did you steal things? Di Haoyan asked. Then, he turned his face. His face was chiseled, and his black eyes were sharp and deep. Why did she steal things? Because of Di Haoyan's appearance, Tang Bao forgot the reason why she stole things. Her lower abdomen instinctively tightened, and she didn't even dare to breathe. Di Haoyan's eyes were so sharp. Would he see that she was pregnant? What's the pressure? Is it the company, or is it personal? Di Haoyan's words were sharp. Tang Bao had no way to retreat, but she forced herself to retreat. Tang Bao couldn't answer Di Haoyan's question. Her mind was muddled. If Di Haoyan knew that she was pregnant with Di Junbai's child, what would he do? Would he kill her directly? Not to mention Di Haoyan. She even wanted to kill herself. You didn't hear what I said. Di Haoyan's voice was as cold as an ice cellar. He had lost his patience. Tang Bao was so shocked that her whole body trembled. It's personal. Why did she feel like she was being lectured? But in this state of guilt, did she still have the strength to resist? Di Haoyan's irresistible words had already made her cower. What's the problem? Tang Bao opened her mouth and said, the things that happened recently, the messy things, the things that made me feel cold to you. There are many. You think I'm cold? Di Haoyan asked in return. His eyes were fixed on Tang Bao's slightly lowered face. I know I don't have the right to say that. You should also be indifferent. I don't mean anything else. I'm just telling the truth. This will indeed make people feel pressured. After Tang Bao finished speaking with his head lowered, he did not receive any response from Di Haoyan. She didn't say anything else. The car fell into an oppressive silence again. Along the way, neither of them spoke. In other words, the entire journey was filled with oppression. Until the car stopped. Tang Bao looked out of the car window and realized that they were at the entrance of her company. Ju opened the car door, and Tang Bao got out. I'll pick you up after work. Tang Bao's back stiffened. By the time she was willing to turn around, the car had already left. What did Di Haoyan mean by this? Why did he come and pick her up? Wasn't he unwilling to interact with her? Why? Tang Bao could not figure it out. Tang Bao. Wan Malay ran out. You're going out? Tang Bao came back to her senses and asked. I was worried about you, so I went downstairs to see you. That was the young master's car just now, right? I saw it all. Wan Malay thought to herself. Was this the rhythm of reconciliation? Tang Bao glanced at Wan Malay and walked into the company without saying anything. What's wrong? Isn't it? The young master wouldn't send you to the company for no reason, right? How did you meet the young master? Did you go to look for him? Wan Malay could not believe Tang Bao's initiative. After all, something had just happened that made her cry bitterly. Or was it a showdown? It didn't seem like it. If it was a showdown, the young master wouldn't send Tang Bao back. That would be even scarier, right? No, I just met him on the road. Wan Malay sat down beside her and said to her seriously, looking at the young master, he definitely wants to continue being with you. So, if you look at the young master's intentions, if he doesn't care about what happened to you, don't think too much and be good with the young master. What do you think? I can't do it, Tang Bao said. The way I am now, I don't have the right to stay in this kind of marriage. How are you not qualified? That's what you did willingly. This was an accident, just like when you were hit by a car. I know what you're thinking now. Go and do a test. If you're pregnant, I won't say anything. Pregnancy test? Tang Bao had always been bold, but now she did not dare to do it. It was a timidity that came from the inside out. She wanted to deceive herself and pretend that nothing had happened. However, if the child really existed, how could she turn a blind eye to it? Tang Bao, I bought the thing. Go to the bathroom and do a test. I've already read the manual for you. It'll be quick, just a few minutes, Wan Malay said. However, Tang Bao wanted to avoid this topic. She stood up and said, let's talk about it later. Maybe my period will come in 2 days. Wan Malay looked at her. Was she really waiting for her period or was she avoiding it? Only she herself knew. After work, Tang Bao walked out of the company. She stopped in her tracks. At the door, Di Haoyan's car and the bodyguard's car were all in her line of sight. It was black and had a strong presence. The car door opened, and Tang Bao got in. Wherever Di Hao Ian was, the atmosphere was always oppressive. Tang Bao didn't know why Di Hao Ian can pick her up. Was it really like what Juan Malay said, that he wanted to be with her? But how could Tang Bao do it? First, she lost her virginity to Di Junbai. Now, it was very likely that she was pregnant. It was too late for her to stay away from Di Hao Ian now. Only by staying away from him could she minimize the betrayal. Di Hao Ian didn't say anything either until they reached the castle. When they entered the hall, Li En was more composed, but Zhang Li's expression was more exaggerated. He looked at Di Hao Ian and Tang Bao in surprise. When he realized that he shouldn't have made such an expression, he retracted it. At the dining table, Tang Bao looked at the delicious food on the table and felt uncomfortable in her stomach. Tang Bao knew that as long as she opened her mouth to eat, she would definitely vomit. Then Di Hao Ian would wonder if there was something wrong with her body. If the doctor came and found out that she was actually pregnant, what would he think? When Di Hao Ian looked over with a sharp gaze, Tang Bao put down the cutlery in her hand. "I'm sorry, I don't have an appetite." Tang Bao could feel that after she said this, Di Hao Ian's gaze changed. "Why don't you have an appetite?" Tang Bao didn't say anything. "Or you don't have an appetite after seeing me?" Di Hao Ian's voice was emotionless and cold. It was as if the air in the dining room was about to freeze. Tang Bao didn't dare to respond to Di Hao Ian's words. She only said, "I'm sorry, I really don't want to eat." "Then don't eat," Di Hao Ian roared. With a wave of his hand, more than half of the dishes on the table were swept to the ground. There was a clatter. There was also the sound of bowls and plates falling to the ground. Tang Bao froze on the chair and didn't move. Her heart was beating wildly, as if it was going to jump out of her chest. Li En and Zhang Li, who were serving her, were also frightened. Chapter 256. It was a mess on the ground. "Do you want me to ask someone to bring Di Junbai here to eat with you?" Di Hao Ian's anger and jealousy almost set him on fire. The more jealous he was, the colder his face was. Tang Bao sat on the chair, as if she couldn't move. Her breathing was irregular, which meant that underneath her calm emotions was uneasiness. The broken pieces on the ground looked like herself in the next second. "I didn't say that. I just don't want to eat." As soon as she finished speaking, Tang Bao was pulled in front of Di Hao Ian. He crashed into Di Hao Ian's sturdy chest, facing the furious Di Hao Ian who was close at hand. Tang Bao felt that his head was about to be knocked out. "Why didn't want to eat? Give me a reason." Di Hao Ian wanted an answer. "Let go of me." Tang Bao struggled. "I already said that I don't want to eat. What reason do you need? Do you want me to say that you won't be satisfied until you can't eat?" The veins on the back of Di Hao Ian's hand that was pulling Tang Bao's clothes were bulging. It was twisted and scary. His face was cold and sinister. His black eyes stared at Tang Bao violently. Tang Bao's bright eyes sparkled with tears as she went all out and said, "No matter what you do to me, I won't blame you. Really, I've never thought of myself as a good girl. Even if you do something, it's what you should do. I won't blame you. Take it as my compensation to you. Is that okay?" Di Hao Ian stared at Tang Bao. He knew that he could strangle Tang Bao to death with just a little strength. She really deserved to die. Di Hao Ian, had never been provoked like this before. However, all his strength was gathered in his hands, and the veins on his hands were even more obvious. But he just couldn't do it. However, even if he didn't do it, the people next to him were also scared to death. Zhongli didn't care anymore and hurriedly said, "Young master, young madam is really not feeling well." His face was deathly pale in the morning. "I asked young madam to see a doctor, but young madam refused." "Young master, it's not that young madam doesn't want to eat with you. She said that because she's really uncomfortable." Di Hao Ian's ruthless eyes were slightly stunned. Tang Bao did not expect Zhang Li to suddenly say it. She felt the grip on her clothes loosen, so she took the opportunity to pull back her clothes, free herself from the strong hand, and took 2 steps back. "I'm already much better. There's no need to make a fuss." After saying that, she turned and ran out of the restaurant. Di Hao Ian stood there stiffly. His voice was so low that it was terrifying. Why didn't anyone say anything? I'm sorry, young master. It was young madam who didn't allow me to say anything, not even Lien. In the morning, when I saw young madam's weak appearance, her face was even paler. However, young madam said that she ate something outside the day before and had an upset stomach. She said that she would be fine soon, so I didn't say anything. I thought that she would be fine when she came back at night, but I didn't expect young madam to still not feel well. Young master, shall I call the doctor now? Go. Yes. Zhongli hurriedly went to call the doctor. Tang Bao returned to the room and sat on the sofa in a daze. Did she feel wronged? Not at all. It was just that if she had known that Zhongli would say it, she would have threatened her in the morning. She really had no self-control at all when she saw Di Haoyan. She just hoped that Di Haoyan wouldn't take it seriously and would just let it go. Tang Bao didn't want to face Di Haoyan again. At this moment, she would rather hope that Di Haoyan wasn't in the castle, just as indifferent as before. Tang Bao still didn't understand why Di Haoyan suddenly changed like this. Could it be that something really happened in the bar? Tang Bao sat on the sofa for a long time before she stood up to take a shower. After taking a shower, she lay on the bed. She didn't think about anything and didn't do anything. Her mind was empty. She felt that her head couldn't withstand thinking about anything. Anything could crush her nerves. Just as Tang Bao was in a daze, a knock on the door made her open her eyes. Young madam, the doctor is here. Tang Bao was so scared that she sat up from the bed. She got out of bed in a panic. She walked to the door and asked, "Who did you say was here?" "Young madam, the young master asked for the doctor." Zhongli felt that even if she wasn't sick, he had to put on an act to make the young master nervous. Otherwise, it would be too scary if the restaurant continued to look like just now. "I'm very healthy. I don't want to see a doctor." Tang Bao refused flatly. She was definitely not going to see a doctor. "But young madam, it's better to take a look." "No, let the doctor go." Tang Bao raised her voice and said irritably. Then, she went forward and locked the door. "I'm going to sleep. Don't bother me. I won't see a doctor." After saying that, Tang Bao turned around and went into the bedroom. Her heart was beating erratically. This must be Di Haoyan's order. Otherwise, who would call a doctor? Why did he call a doctor? Couldn't Di Haoyan just pretend that nothing had happened? He was still angry just now. Why did he call a doctor for her in the blink of an eye? Could it be that he found out something? After all, Di Haoyan was so smart. Tang Bao was so flustered that her heart couldn't take it anymore. The sound of the door being pushed open. Tang Bao was stunned. Wasn't the door locked? She turned around and saw Di Haoyan walking in. His dark eyes fell on Tang Bao's face. His expression was cold as he ordered, "Check her." The doctor behind him was about to step forward. Tang Bao immediately pointed at the female doctor and said, "Don't you dare touch me. I already said that I'm fine. Why do you have to check me? I just ate something bad. Can't I just rest for 2 days?" "Di Haoyan, what right do you have to disrespect me like this? You want to talk about respect with me?" Di Haoyan's cold eyes made it seem as if what Tang Bao said was impossible. Tang Bao knew that Di Haoyan was strong and could not be disobeyed. He was unreasonable and domineering. Therefore, she was stumped and could not say anything for a while. "Do you want to see a doctor?" Di Haoyan's voice was cold and majestic. "I'm not going to see a doctor. If you really think that I'm not feeling well, ask the doctor to prescribe some gastroenteritis medicine. I'll take it and see what happens. You can't just take medicine casually." Di Haoyan's face was stern. Tang Bao was furious. "I said I'm not going to see a doctor. Ask the doctor to leave. I don't want to see her. If the doctor doesn't leave, I'll leave. That's enough. I won't be an eyesore to you anymore." Di Haoyan's anger was stuck in his chest. If he had less control, he would have skinned Tang Bao alive. His face was cold and hard. "See a doctor and have dinner. Choose." "I don't want to see a doctor, and I don't want to eat either." Tang Bao turned around and went into the cloakroom. If she wanted to leave this place, she had to put on clothes. She could not leave in her pajamas. Just as she reached for her clothes, her wrist was grabbed and pressed against the mirror. Chapter 257. What are you doing? Tang Bao wanted to withdraw her hand, but Di Hao Yin was so strong that it was as if she was nailed to the wall. Di Hao Yin let go of one of his hands and grabbed both of her hands to hold Tang Bao in place. What do you think I'm doing? I can't wait to tear you apart. Tang Bao was about to open her mouth to speak, but her mouth was blocked. She couldn't say a word. Tang Bao didn't want the relationship between the two of them to be like this anymore. She resisted and struggled. Her free little hand pushed Di Haoyin away and pulled at his shirt. Di Haoyin didn't let go of her. Instead, he pressed his strong body against hers. Tang Bao felt that she was about to stop breathing. Di Haoyin's breath was low. He was not satisfied with this at all. He only had one thought now. Tang Bao couldn't struggle. Her heart was in so much pain, and the tears that flowed down were scalding hot. This made her heart ache even more. Tang Bao was unusually agitated. She pushed Di Haoyin with all her might. She dodged to the side and looked at Di Haoyin warily. What? Di Haoyin's dark eyes were like a hurricane. That's not what I meant. That's true. You've always been there for Di Junbai. Di Haoyin approached Tang Bao step by step. The hostility on his body made Tang Bao's body weak. She slid to the ground against the mirror. Yes, I'm there for him. So please don't do this. Tang Bao said, breaking down. Tears dripped down. Di Haoyin squatted down in front of her. His thick shadow covered Tang Bao's slender figure. He lifted Tang Bao's chin and looked coldly at her teary eyes. His voice was so low and hoarse that it sounded as if it had been torn apart. Do you like him that much? Tang Bao did not say anything. Only his tears flowed silently. It's your misfortune to have met me. With me around, how could I possibly make you fall in love with him? Di Haoyin finished his words and left with a gloomy aura. Tang Bao's tense nerves relaxed. He leaned against the mirror as if all his strength had been sucked out. She didn't even know what she had just said. She could only hear Di Haoyin's words in her ears, and every word he said sent chills down her spine. At this point, would Di Haoyin still not mention divorce? Was he trying to trap her in this way because he didn't want her to like Di Junbai? After sitting for a long time, he got up and walked out of the cloakroom. There was no one else. She was the only one left in the silence. The doctor wouldn't force her to do a physical examination anymore. Did this count as escaping a disaster? Due to the discomfort in his body, Tang Bao did not feel hungry even at night. However, he didn't sleep well. He was always half asleep. However, when he opened his eyes, the sky was already bright. Tang Bao walked out of the room. He walked from the hall to the dining room and sat down at the table. He didn't see Di Haoyin, but he noticed Zhang Li's guilty gaze. Tang Bao ate 2 mouthfuls and looked at Zhang Li. You keep staring at me. Are you going to let me eat or not? Young madam, is your stomach better? It's much better. It doesn't matter anymore. Tang Bao's stomach was still a little uncomfortable, but fortunately, she had stopped vomiting in the morning. In this way, the chances of others finding out were very small. I'm sorry, young madam. I promised you that I wouldn't tell anyone about your discomfort. But yesterday, if you don't tell me, Zhang Li was at a loss for words. I know. You did it for my own good. I won't blame you. Tang Bao could tell right from wrong. Zhang Li said it because he was worried about her. Young madam, the young master went out last night. Zhang Li felt that he was worried sick. He saw that the young master was worried about the young madam's health and asked her to call the doctor. The two of them were about to make up, but why did the young master look so scary after entering the room? He even left the castle directly? Tang Bao listened to Zhang Li's report and didn't say anything. He ate breakfast in silence. He didn't see Di Haoyin in the morning. Didn't that mean that he didn't return last night? What could Tang Bao say? If it was a problem between the two of them, Tang Bao would find a way to solve the problem. But now there was no way to solve it. She challenged Di Haoyin's patience time and time again. She put herself in Di Haoyin's dangerous aura time and time again. But she still did it against her will in the company. Wan Malay wanted to see something different from Tang Bao's face. However, why did it feel like there was no difference? Tang Bao, why did you come to the company? Wan Malay asked. Me? I took the car myself. The young master didn't send you. Why would he send me? I don't need it. Wan Malay was anxious. You didn't push him far away again, did you? Tang Bao thought to himself. With Di Haoyan's physique, how could she push him? My white hair is about to come out. Because of you. Wang Malay was going crazy. Then go to work. I have to work too. After Tang Bao finished speaking, he sat down in front of the desk and lay on the table. He didn't move. Wang Malay looked at him. Was this also called work? Yes, Tang Bao was more or less like this when he came to the company. Sleeping was one of his jobs. Tang Bao, if you want to sleep, don't lie down. Your legs will go numb. Why don't you sleep on the sofa? It's more comfortable that way, Wang Malay said. That's true. Tang Bao stood up and walked to the sofa. He lay down on the sofa and fell asleep not long after. Wang Malay was very helpless. It seemed that the young master and Tang Bao didn't reconcile. She found a blanket and covered Tang Bao with it. The way he slept looked pitiful. Tang Bao was sleeping well when he was woken up by the ringtone of his phone. What is it? Tang Bao wanted to sit up, but he forgot that he was on the sofa, not the bed. He rolled to the ground. Ouch! Wang Malay heard the commotion and ran out. When he saw Tang Bao rubbing the ground, he found it funny. However, he held it in and gave her the phone on the desk first. Who is calling me at this time? Tang Bao took the phone and saw that the caller ID was an unfamiliar number. He answered it in confusion. Who is this? Although my face is ruined, you can recognize my voice, right? The voice on the other end of the phone came over. If you can't recognize it, I don't mind wasting my breath to tell you. Tang Bao frowned. Xiao Rui? Yes, I can recognize it. Tang Bao felt his hair stand on end when he heard Xiao Rui's voice. Why did this person call him for no reason? Her terrible face was still fresh in his mind. Chapter 258. Why are you looking for me? I want to kill Di Haoyan. Do you have the ability? Although Tang Bao said this, his heart still beat irregularly. I know that Di Haoyan has been emotionally unstable recently. He doesn't even care about his own safety for you. Don't you think it'll be easy for me to kill him? Xiao Rui asked casually. Don't mess around. If you have something to say, come at me. Tang Bao wanted to calm himself down, but his nervousness still betrayed him. Come at you? Why would I come at you? It was Di Haoyan who ruined my face. Even if I want to find someone to take revenge on, it won't be you. Am I right? Haven't you always been unable to distinguish between right and wrong? Have you always found me an eyesore? You just have to continue to maintain your indiscriminate behavior. On the other end of the phone, Xiao Rui's face turned green. Even if you provoke me again, I will still kill Di Haoyan. Only by killing him can I relieve the hatred in my heart. Do you want to know where Di Haoyan is right now? He was drunk in the bar last night. I watched over him for the whole night, but he still hasn't come out. Say, do you think he found a woman and is reluctant to come out of the womanhood? Xiao Rui deliberately provoked Tang Bao with her words. Tang Bao, on the other hand, was analyzing whether Di Haoyan was really in the bar or not. After what she said yesterday, was Di Haoyan really provoked and stayed in the bar for the whole night? In order to assassinate Di Haoyan, I even asked someone to teach me how to shoot. After all, I can't get close to Di Haoyan. How much effort do you think I put in? Xiao Rui's voice came over, and she sounded very happy. Xiao Rui, are you crazy? Yes, I am crazy. If it was your face that was disfigured, would you act as if nothing had happened? Huh. Then I'll return my face to you, Tang Bao said without hesitation. I don't care about your face. I only want Di Haoyan's life. Xiao Rui, let me tell you, you won't be able to kill him. Don't let yourself be reduced to ashes when the time comes. Tang Bao was not threatening her. They were well aware of Di Haoyan's methods. Do you think I care? After my face was disfigured, I was willing to risk my life for it. Don't even think about informing Di Haoyan. If I can't kill him today, I can still kill him tomorrow. If I can't kill him tomorrow, I can still kill him the day after tomorrow. One day, I will have the opportunity to do so. And with your current awkward status, do you think Di Haoyan will believe you? Tang Bao would not listen to this crazy woman's nonsense. He hung up the phone. Wang Malay listened for a long time, unable to get a word in. After hanging up the Tang Bao, he immediately asked, what does Xiao Rui want to do? Tang Bao could not care less about Wan Malay. He called Di Haoyan. She knew how tense the two of them were last night and how serious the consequences were. But when she thought about Di Haoyan's safety, she could not care less. Xiao Rui had already gone crazy. She could not take it seriously. However, her phone rang twice and was directly rejected. It was not that no one picked up, but that it was rejected. Di Haoyan was indeed staying in the suite above the bar. Drunk, he did not look too good. When his phone rang, he glanced at it. He picked up the phone, looked at the word wife on the caller ID, and directly rejected it. With a cold face, he went in the bathroom. Why didn't Di Haoyan pick up my call? Tang Bao asked Wan Malay in confusion. She was very puzzled and serious. Wan Malay asked in his heart, what do you think? Although the two of them have fallen out now, he should not pick up the phone, right? What if I have something important to talk to him about? Wan Malay asked again, what do you think? Tang Bao continued to call Di Haoyan impatiently and anxiously. This time, he did not even reject her. No one picked up in the end. Tang Bao had no choice but to call He Ju. He Ju, who was guarding outside the door, saw the incoming call on the phone and picked it up. Tang Bao's anxious voice immediately came through. He Ju, Xiao Rui wants to kill Di Haoyan. Xiao Rui? Yes, where are you now? Guangzhou a bar. Tang Bao was stunned. Were they really in a bar? Xiao Rui should be in the bar too. She has a gun. She wants to kill Di Haoyan. He Ju thought that this could not be fake. Tang Bao would not say such things for no reason. But did Xiao Rui have the ability? After hanging up the phone, He Ju still ordered his men to check if there were any problems on the path that they had to take to get out later. They even checked the bar. Tang Bao was waiting for He Ju's call in his office. He was very anxious. As soon as the phone rang, he immediately picked it up. How is it? Did you catch the person? I checked inside and out. There are no suspicious people. Is Xiao Rui trying to scare me? Probably. A few seconds after Tang Bao hung up the phone rang again. He looked at it again. It was Xiao Rui. He picked it up. You called Di Haoyan? Do you think it's useful? He can't find me. I'm still in the bar. Xiao Rui's smug laughter came through the phone. Is it fun? Tang Bao said coldly. Fun? Tang Bao, why don't you come to the bar and check it out yourself? How about this? I'll give you 10 minutes. If you come to the bar within 10 minutes, I won't kill him. If you don't, I'm sorry, but I'll definitely kill Di Haoyan. After that, Xiao Rui hung up the phone. Tang Bao's phone was still pressed against his ear. He was in a daze. Then she picked up her bag and ran out of the office. Tang Bao, where are you going? Wan Malay came back to her senses and followed her. Tang Bao, I'll go with you. By the time she ran downstairs, Tang Bao had just gotten into a taxi and left. Tang Bao thought so. It didn't matter if Xiao Rui was telling the truth or not. She had to see Di Haoyan first. She didn't know why. After Xiao Rui made the phone call, she felt very uneasy. It was as if something bad was going to happen. When Tang Bao thought of guns, he thought of the gunshot wound on Di Haoyan's abdomen. She was traumatized. How could she let her guard down? She knew that no matter what she did to Di Haoyan, she definitely didn't want Di Haoyan to get hurt. Sir, please drive faster. The faster the better. Tang Bao urged the taxi driver. I'm already going as fast as I can. If you get to Huangjua Bar in 10 minutes, I'll give you 1,000 yuan. As soon as Tang Bao finished speaking, the driver stepped on the accelerator and Tang Bao fell back. Money can make a car break the rules. When they arrived at the bar, the driver stepped on the brakes. 10 minutes is just right. Tang Bao almost hit the back of the seat in front of him. If she hadn't blocked the car all the way, he would have flown out of the windshield. I'll give you later. Hey, you won't go back on your word, right? No. Tang Bao pushed the door open and got out of the car. He ran into the bar. The bar was quiet. Only a few employees were cleaning up the debris left behind after last night's madness. Chapter 259. However, she felt that something was wrong. Looking at the bar staff who were bending down to clean, she felt uncomfortable. There seemed to be something wrong. Then, Tang Bao's gaze was fixed on the staff who was squatting and wiping the tables and chairs. The staff had his back to her. Footsteps could be heard coming from inside. They were steady and cold. Tang Bao turned around and saw Di Hao Ian, who was surrounded by bodyguards. Seeing Di Hao Ian safe and sound, her heart was finally at ease. When Di Hao Ian saw Tang Bao, he was slightly stunned, but he quickly covered it up. Then he turned a blind eye. Tang Bao turned her gaze away slightly. She thought about how she had rushed over. If Di Hao Ian asked, how should she answer? However, just as Tang Bao's gaze fell on the waiter, just now, she was suddenly stunned. The black muzzle of the gun was pointed at Di Hao Ian. When the gunshot rang out, Tang Bao did not even think about it, and pounced on Di Hao Ian. Ah! Tang Bao cried out in pain. She seemed to have heard the sound of the bullet entering the body. Everything happened too quickly. Tang Bao leaned against Di Hao Ian's strong chest and looked up at Di Hao Ian weakly. And Di Hao Ian, who instinctively held her waist, just happened to place his hand on the bloody hole. Blood flowed out, staining his hand red, and the stench of blood spread. Di Hao Ian's black eyes turned red, and he stared at Tang Bao. It was as if the one who was shot was not Tang Bao, but him. All the blood in his body seemed to have been drained. "Are you okay?" Tang Bao asked. Di Hao Ian picked up Tang Bao and ran out of the bar. He got into the car, and the car sped away. Di Hao Ian held Tang Bao, and his hand on the gunshot wound never left. But the blood would still seep out. Tang Bao could feel Di Hao Ian's hand, and the muscles on his chest that were pressed against his face were tense, as if they would break at any moment. "Di Hao Ian, I didn't know getting shot hurt so much," Tang Bao said weakly. "Don't talk. We're almost at the hospital." Di Hao Ian's voice was extremely hoarse, as if he was injured. "Di Hao Ian, will I die? With me around, no one will dare to take your life." Di Hao Ian told her domineeringly, "You can only be mine." Tang Bao thought to himself. He was still as domineering as ever. However, there was a weak smile at the corner of his mouth. Then he fainted. Di Hao Ian felt that something was wrong with the person in his arms. He bit Tang Bao's lips and called her, "Baby, baby." Tang Bao had already fainted. There was no reaction. Di Hao Ian immediately shouted at the driver, "Drive faster." Hiju was the one driving the car, so it was no different from a racing car. However, Hiju still adjusted the speed to the maximum. If they couldn't save Tang Bao, it didn't matter whether they died or not. Tang Bao was sent to the emergency room. Di Hao Ian wanted to go in, but he was stopped by the hospital director. "Young master, you should stay outside. Don't go in." On the way, he had already contacted the hospital. Therefore, the hospital director personally performed the surgery. She must be safe and sound. Di Hao Ian's face was gloomy, but his hand that was holding the hospital director was trembling. "Okay." The hospital director felt that his bones were being squeezed so hard that they hurt, so he said that directly. This was something that no doctor would say, but the hospital director said it. Closing the door of the emergency room meant that Tang Bao's life was in the hands of someone else. Di Hao Ian stood outside the emergency room, not leaving even a single step. He stood and stared at the door without moving. The space was so quiet that no one dared to make any sound of footsteps. It was as if even the sound of a heartbeat was so clear. It was heavy and heavy. Hiju looked at Di Hao Ian's blood-stained hand and turned around to get him a disinfectant towel. "Young master." Di Hao Ian came back to his senses and looked at the blood on his hand. He didn't move for a long time. That was Tang Bao's blood. Tang Bao pounced on him without hesitation, stimulating his brain nerves. The bloodshot eyes in his black eyes were frightening. Why did she pounce on him? He allowed it. "Tang Bao, you'd better be good with me." Di Hao Ian's red eyes stared at the door of the emergency room. He didn't take the towel from Hiju's hand. Hiju didn't say anything else and took the towel back. Tang Bao felt that she should be in heaven. The world was white. She couldn't see anyone clearly. She couldn't even see herself clearly. She was floating around. She felt that this was heaven, because there was only endless darkness in hell. Someone told her that heaven was white and hell was black. She believed it. Besides, Tang Bao didn't think that she had done anything bad. That wasn't right. She had done something bad. She had stolen things, she had hit people with a brick, and she had even done something to let Di Hao Ian down. These were all considered bad things. But in the end, she still went to heaven. Did that mean that she had done something to save Di Hao Ian? Just as she only saw the white, foggy world and Di Hao Ian's chiseled face appear in front of her, she said, Di Hao Ian, did you die for love? You actually went to heaven too. Aren't you a bad guy? Yes, I'm a bad guy. Di Hao Ian's large hand caressed her pale face. Her petite face was so fragile in his palm that he could not even grasp it. As Tang Bao blinked, he kissed her little mouth. Tang Bao's long eyelashes fluttered. The real and familiar touch made Tang Bao's muddled mind gradually sober. Her tender lips were gently sucked on, and hot and rapid breaths blew on her face. This was not heaven. Di Hao Ian did not go to heaven with her. This was the human world. Tang Bao's face gradually turned red, and her body was about to move. Don't move. Di Hao Ian let go of her lips and stopped her in a low voice. Tang Bao couldn't move even if she wanted to. She was sleeping on her side and was fixed by the hospital's frame. Because she was shot in the back, she couldn't just lie down like that. When can I lie down? Don't tell me I have to lie on my side all the time. It will be very tiring. Tang Bao looked at Di Hao Ian pitifully. Bear with it. I'll hold you when you sleep at night, Di Hao Ian said. Tang Bao stared at Di Hao Ian's calm but deep eyes without blinking. Even his words were so gentle, and he was so good to her. Perhaps the anesthesia had not completely worn off. Tang Bao was still looking at Di Hao Ian 1 second, but she fell asleep the next second. Di Hao Ian sat on the edge of the bed and did not move a step. The dinner that was delivered was ignored. He only had eyes for Tang Bao. When he saw her wake up, Di Hao Ian was already full. His body's functions seemed to be filled with energy by Tang Bao. The sky outside was already dark. A bright ice wool hung in the sky. The quiet silver light was facing a pair of figures in the ward. The tall man stared at the sleeping girl affectionately. Everything became the background of the movement and became less important. Tang Bao slept until the next morning. Sleeping on her side for a long time made her body feel a little uncomfortable. She wanted to move, but found that she couldn't. She couldn't help but open her eyes. Chapter 260. Tang Bao looked at Di Hao Ian in disbelief. He was really hugging her to sleep. After hesitating for a few seconds, Tang Bao said, I don't think I've slept well yet. What about you? Do you still want to sleep? Yes. Then go back to sleep. After Tang Bao said that, she closed her eyes. Although her eyes were closed, Tang Bao's long eyelashes were still fluttering. It meant that she was not sleepy at all. However, Di Hao Ian pretended not to notice and just looked at her. Tang Bao did not want to open her eyes. In the past, when she shared the bed with Di Hao Ian, she rested her head on Di Hao Ian's strong arm and was completely in Di Hao Ian's embrace. She slept so safely and contentedly. Although she could not hug Di Hao Ian now, Tang Bao did not want to get up. She wanted to sleep like this until the end of time. However, her request was a little extravagant. Soon, a rumbling sound came from her stomach. Her stomach. I'll get them to bring food over. Di Hao Ian's low and hoarse voice came over with a warm breath. Tang Bao's sickly pale face was directly dyed red. Her pretending to be asleep was betrayed by her hunger. With her eyes closed, she felt the bed move. Di Hao Ian got up. She listened to him walk out of the ward. Tang Bao opened her eyes. She stared blankly at the window. The blue sky outside the window. This was not heaven. She was really alive. Tang Bao recalled the moment when she took the bullet for Di Hao Ian. The pain of the bullet piercing through the skin. The fearlessness of her throwing herself into Di Hao Ian's arms. When she was in the car, she really thought that she would die. However, she still survived. Was this due to her luck or Di Hao Ian's domineering attitude? He said that as long as he was around, no one could take her life away. He really did what he said. Then, if she did not die, the unlucky one was Xiao Rui. That idiot. Everyone told her that she couldn't kill Di Hao Ian, but she didn't believe it. Tang Bao felt a little uncomfortable. When he wanted to move, he felt the pain from his wound. Just as she was frowning, her body was lifted from behind. Tang Bao turned around and saw Di Haoyan. Like this? Di Haoyan asked, slightly changing her position. Tang Bao nodded. If you want to move, tell me. Don't move. Tang Bao nodded again. Tang Bao was a patient now, so he could not eat it casually. He could only eat liquid food. Leaning slightly on the hospital bed, Di Haoyan fed her mouthful by mouthful. Tang Bao felt that if he had the strength, he would definitely not let Di Haoyan feed him. When I have the strength, I'll eat it myself, Tang Bao said. Di Haoyan glanced at her and said, we'll talk about everything when you're better. Tang Bao thought about the meaning of Di Haoyan's words. What did he mean by everything? Including what? Tang Bao's heart was in turmoil because of Di Haoyan's simple words. After thinking for a while, she said, don't feel burdened. I accidentally fell at that time. I didn't expect that someone would want to kill you. I was just unlucky to run into it. Tang Bao asked herself, how's this excuse? It was super lame. However, after she said that, Di Haoyan's face was expressionless and cold. She looked completely different from when she had just woken up. This person was really unpredictable. I want to eat meat, Tang Bao requested. Tomorrow. Just a little. A piece of shredded meat? Tomorrow. Tang Bao frowned and drank the tasteless food. Xiao Rui was shooting at Di Haoyan. After Tang Bao was shot, she ran away. She had already found a way out for herself. She didn't really want to kill Di Haoyan in the first place. She wanted to kill Tang Bao. She deliberately lured Tang Bao over. However, when she did this, she wasn't 100% sure, because no one cared about their own life so much. Tang Bao might not take the bullet for Di Haoyan. At that time, she thought that if Tang Bao took the bullet and killed Di Haoyan, she wouldn't lose anything. The life of the king of D City was much more valuable than hers. Fortunately, Tang Bao rushed over. This was the result she was most satisfied with. She felt that Tang Bao was already dead. Xiao Rui, who was hiding in the alley, couldn't think of surviving in D City from the moment this plan started. She didn't even have the chance to leave D City. The road in front of her was blocked. Xiao Rui stopped in her tracks and turned to run. The road in front of her was blocked. Yiju looked coldly at the flustered Xiao Rui. Xiao Rui's face had recovered a lot after the previous plastic surgery. However, there were still traces of scars. What do you want to do? Yiju didn't answer her and ordered, arrest her. What are you doing? Save me. Help. Xiao Rui struggled and screamed. Yiju looked at the struggling person and said emotionlessly, young Master D said that people like you aren't suitable to live. You'll be good as fish food. What? Xiao Rui's face turned pale. I don't believe it. Haoyan wouldn't treat me like this. He used to be so good to me. How would he treat me like this? He did treat you well, but so what? You can live if you kill young Master D, but you won't live if you hurt young Madam. I don't believe it. Is Tang Bao that important to him? Even if it's first come, first served, Di Haoyan will still have some feelings for me, right? Whether it's important or not, you'll know by looking at your own fate. Xiao Rui looked at the coldness on Hiju's face and was so scared that her legs went soft. She couldn't even stand. She thought that Di Haoyan would care about a trace of affection. She didn't expect him to be so heartless. Just like the ancient emperors, if they said they wanted you to die, you had to die, even if they were still happy a moment ago. As an awkward patient, Tang Bao couldn't do anything. Other than eating, she could only sleep. Di Haoyan had been there the whole time. He didn't say anything. The air was very unnatural. However, Di Haoyan really didn't ask her about taking the bullet. It seemed that he really wanted to wait for her body to recover before he spoke. Since Di Haoyan wasn't going to ask, Tang Bao wasn't going to speak first. She had to think about how to tell Di Haoyan that she took the bullet. The previous excuse seemed to be quite lame. At least she had to find a way to explain it. Wan Malay couldn't contact Tang Bao and didn't know what had happened. So she went directly to Zhou Jisen. She didn't forget to knock on the door before entering. Come in. Wan Malay pushed the door open and looked at Zhou Jisen, who was buried in work, and asked, Do you know where Tang Bao is now? How do you know that I must know? Zhou Jisen asked. I don't know. Anyway, I think you must know. If Wan Malay didn't ask Zhou Jisen, who else could she ask? She's in a hospital now, Zhou Jisen said. She was shot. What did you say? Wan Malay wondered if there was something wrong with her ears. When Zhou Jisen went to tea, he didn't see Di Hao Ian and couldn't hand in the document. He only found out after asking He Ju. Chapter 261. Even though he said that, Wan Malay was still scared out of his wits. How did you get shot? Was it Shaowei? Wan Malay couldn't associate Tang Bao with a dangerous weapon like a gun. However, Tang Bao had spoken to Shaowei on the phone before she left. Then, something happened. If it wasn't related to her, then what was it? I'm not sure. It must be her. How can that idiot be so vicious? As expected of a best friend, they even scolded each other. No, I have to go to the hospital to see her. You don't have to go. Why? Wan Malay asked. You can't get through to her phone, right? Zhou Jisen asked with a sense of elite shrewdness. How do you know? Why would you ask me if I could get through? I really can't get through. I don't know what's going on. Is there something wrong with her phone? I think that in order to let President Tang recover, young Master D probably turned off her phone. In other words, no one can go to see President Tang unless she fully recovers and is discharged from the hospital. So, even if you go, you won't be able to see her. They'll just wait like this? The most important thing is that President Tang can recover. Wan Malay thought about it and agreed. The most important thing was that Tang Bao was safe and sound. However, when he walked out of the office, Wan Malay still clutched his heart. It was too King scary. She was shot. Where was she shot? Was she saved because her life was hanging by a thread? What a worrisome guy. When Zhongli brought the food over, he asked He Ju, Is there anyone taking care of young madam? Why don't you tell young Master D to let me stay and take care of young madam? Can you let the nurse take care of her? Young Master D is taking care of her. Young Master D? Zhongli thought that this was good. After young madam recovered and was discharged from the hospital, the two of them should be able to reconcile. For Tang Bao, she would rather let Zhongli take care of her, even if it was a nurse, because she still had a catheter under her. She watched Di Hao Ian change her urine bag. Every time, Tang Bao's head had to shrink into the blanket. It was too embarrassing. Tang Bao seemed to have just remembered that she might be pregnant. If she was pregnant, would the bullet affect the child in the womb when it went through her waist? Did the doctors find out that she was pregnant when they rescued her? In that case, did everyone know that she was pregnant? However, looking at Di Hao Ian's expression, he could not tell anything. The director came to the ward again. She was a bespectacled woman in her 50s. She looked capable and experienced. He changed the dressing for the Tang Bao and did various body checks. He's recovering well. Now, I'm going to remove the catheter. It's going to hurt a little, so hold your breath, said the director. Wait. Just as the director was about to make a move, Tang Bao stopped him. Then, he looked at Di Hao Ian. Can you go out? Why? I'm sorry, Tang Bao said. Di Hao Ian frowned and stared at Tang Bao. The dean stood there and smiled awkwardly. You won't see it. That won't do, Tang Bao insisted. Di Hao Ian's face was cold. In the end, he compromised and turned around to leave. Tang Bao deliberately sent Di Hao Ian away. Do you have something to ask me? The director naturally saw something and asked lovingly. Tang Bao was stunned. If the director could see it, then Di Hao Ian could see it too, right? Forget it. She would just ask in a more subtle way. Other than the gunshot wound, is there anything else wrong with my body? No. The gunshot wound didn't hurt any vital parts, so don't worry too much. Other than that, there's nothing else? Where else do you feel uncomfortable? You can tell me, but I won't tell anyone else. Tang Bao thought. How can I trust you? She was not stupid. It's nothing. Since there's nothing wrong with my body, then there's no problem, Tang Bao said. Then, shall I remove it for you now? Okay, Tang Bao said. The director pulled the urinary catheter and said, Hold your breath. Not only did Tang Bao hold her breath, but she also closed her eyes. She felt the urinary catheter being pulled out all of a sudden, and there was a burning pain all the way. It's done. Ugh. Tang Bao groaned in pain. It'll be done in a few minutes. Thank you, director. Then, Tang Bao watched the director leave. She thought she shouldn't be pregnant, right? If she was, how could the director not know? It could be seen during the surgery. But why didn't her period come? When the director walked out, Di Hao Ian looked over sharply. Without waiting for him to speak, the director said, she asked if there were any other problems with her body. How's the examination? There's no problem. She's recovering well. Tang Bao was right. The director and Di Hao Ian were in cahoots. Remove the urinary catheter and let her get out of bed properly. Lying down won't tear the wound, but lying flat will hurt. She can only sleep on her side. While Tang Bao was still confused about why her period didn't come, Di Hao Ian pushed the door open and came in. Tang Bao's gaze fell on Di Hao Ian's tall figure and then looked away. Get up and walk. Huh? I can get up? That's great. I'm about to fall asleep. Tang Bao felt that other than the discomfort in her wound, everything else was fine. Di Hao Ian went over and picked her up. He sat on the bed and helped her put on her shoes. Tang Bao looked at Di Hao Ian, who squatted down to help her put on her shoes. Looking at his thick black hair, she felt as if she was reading a comic book. Tang Bao didn't think that she took the bullet for Di Hao Ian just to let everything go back to the past without any grudges. She just felt that she had done what she should do, but it couldn't erase the unbearable betrayal. Di Hao Ian hugged Tang Bao and walked slowly in the corridor outside. They were very close. There were also bodyguards in the corridor, which made Tang Bao feel a little embarrassed. Does the wound hurt? Di Hao Ian asked again after a few steps. Tang Bao shook her head. It doesn't hurt. After a moment, Tang Bao asked, between the two of us, whose wound is more serious? Mine. It seems so. At that time, I felt that your wound was quite serious. I could get out of bed in a few days. Can I be discharged from the hospital? Stay in the hospital for observation. Tang Bao didn't like the smell of the hospital, but there was nothing she could do. Even if she wanted to go back, Di Hao Ian wouldn't allow it. Thinking about it, she and Di Hao Ian each had a hole in their bodies. Was this considered a match? However, Tang Bao thought that it would be ugly for a girl to have such a scar on her body that couldn't be removed. Moreover, it was on a conspicuous waist. Di Hao Ian. Yes. Do you know a doctor who is good at plastic surgery? When the time comes, can the gunshot scar on my waist be fixed? It doesn't look good if I keep it. Tang Bao didn't mean anything else. It was just a kind of beauty mentality. Besides me, who else do you want to show it to? Di Hao Ian asked expressionlessly. Tang Bao stopped in her tracks and looked at Di Hao Ian's chiseled side profile. When Di Hao Ian turned his face, he was met with a pair of deep and dark eyes. What did Di Hao Ian mean by this? You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.